Start recording. Okay, so just a couple of announcements before we get into the session proper. First, and probably the most obvious, is you guys have noticed that Monday will probably not be able to join us in the near future. He's got stuff going on in real life that is going to make him attending sessions a nightmare. So we're going to keep him around as an NPC for the time being. Not the very important distinction is not a supporting character. I'm not going to fiddle with his stats or anything, just in case he's able to come back to the table. Um, and we'll talk about this probably more at the end of the session off stream. But I'm thinking I'll go ahead and I'll bring in a new player, and I'll try to get them up to speed before next session. The other big announcement, which my players are aware of, but the stream/recording may not be of, today we're going to do a holodeck episode, and we're flavoring it in terms of D&D, so we'll see how that goes. But without any further ado, I'll go ahead and turn it over to the captain.
Captain's personal log, stardate 48506.9. Orion activity in the Expanse has all but stopped. Admiral Haru could not give me specifics, but Starfleet intelligence is making great inroads into capturing Orion Kingpin Sven. In the last month, Arcadia has collected scientific data of great value, including a trinary star system. I've also had a surprising amount of free time, which I have used in the holodeck with Chief Hylong's program of Knights and Squires. So far, it has been an entertaining and insightful view into Cerata Draco culture and an excellent supplement into my own fitness regime. Awkwardly, I seem to have reached a point in the program that it will not be possible to continue alone. So I've called a meeting with some of my senior staff. Hopefully they will be able to lend me some of their free time so that I may see what awaits me in Hylong's fantastical program.
All right, very good. And sure enough, as the captain says, we're going to open this adventure up with all of you being called into the conference room. I think it would be important to note that this would not be a formal meeting, and this would likely be during your off hours. But yeah, you all are assembled in the conference room, and again, we'll give it over to the captain.
So, any questions?
None from me.
Sorry, sir. I'm a little bit unclear on exactly what you need us to do.
We would be taking roles, if you will, and playing them in the holodeck. I've been taking the role of a squire to a knight named Adros, and we would be part of his company of adventurers.
All right. Sorry, out of character, has the captain explained that this is Hylong's program, or is it just
That
being
is
presented as something that he...
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I mean, shouldn't we invite Hylong to ride along for the ride too if we're going to be doing this? I mean, maybe she has some insight.
I believe she's probably already gone this far already, and I think it's a little bit more fun to have this from a fresh perspective. I wanted to keep it with just the senior staff.
But she knows we're using her program?
I don't see why not.
No. Risho is actually asking if Hylong knows that they're going through her program.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if she's okay with it, then yeah, I guess, Captain, whatever you need.
All right. Well, we'll be going in about 1 hour. So if you'd like to get anything ready, the list of things you can replicate for yourself, I've sent for you on your pads. But I'll meet you on the holodeck.
All right.
All right. So, as the captain says, he gives you, on all of your pads, he gives you a list of thematic clothing for your adventure. Of note, he doesn't send anything like armor or weapons, because that is provided by the holodeck.
Okay.
So I don't want to spend too long here, and if you get stuck, we can gloss over it. But I'm curious as to what sort of outfits each of you might be going with. And I guess we'll start at the top. So, Captain, what are you going to be wearing to this adventure?
This whole time I've been wearing just like a simple, maybe a couple layers of different linens. Once I'm in the program, I'll put on some chain, but nothing too elaborate or fancy.
Okay, fair enough. Matic, what are you wearing?
I'll give it a look over, and I'll probably decide to just go with just maybe a simple tunic, some trousers, laced up boots, nothing too fancy. Probably go with leather armor and then have an axe or two.
All right, very good. Rochelle, what are you going with?
Are we aware what the captain's wearing?
I would believe he would have indicated what he's wearing, yes.
Okay. Well, Rochelle having like no familiarity with this kind of thing at all, we'd be looking at him and be like his only point of reference would be old Earth movies, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just gonna go with what he assumes is standard garb, based on that, which is gonna be like ridiculously frilly and with bangles and like puffed out sleeves.
All right, so I gotta
It's just-
ask, because this is gonna be very important. Do you have jingle boots?
No, not gonna go for the jingle boots, but like the boots that come like all the way up to the thigh and then have those kind of cutout square frills on the sides. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, just way over the top, like way too much.
All right, good to know. This is why I'm asking, because fun stuff like that. And then we have our lovely ship's counselor, Nalan. What are you wearing?
Yeah. Seeing as how I probably don't know much about, because this is basically what, like fantasy age stuff is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing I was raised on a busy colony and I don't really know, I think I would probably dress as what would be like a middle class citizen back then, so just nothing fancy, and
Okay.
we'll see what happens.
Alrighty. So all of you use, I don't want to call them replicator rations, but you use some form of replicator to create this clothing for you. And you all sort of arrive at the same time outside the holodeck as the captain is putting in the program.
Rochelle is gonna be visibly uncomfortable with how overdressed he is all of a sudden. A little bit resentful too. Like nobody said what they needed to dress, but he still feels like he was thrown under the bus just a little bit.
I suppose if you scrolled far enough, you would have found that in the list of suggested items.
I really wasn't sure what we were looking for, Captain. Honestly, this is not my wheelhouse.
It'll do.
You just see Matic kind of shrug his shoulders and like, okay, I just thought we were gonna dress like Klingons for a little bit, so
All right. Well, the program's all ready.
All right. So, right on time, the computer works for a moment and then chimes the standard program complete. Enter when ready. And the doors open and you all head inside. And I can push you guys onto this map. So,
As we go inside, can I check to make sure the safeties are still on?
oh yeah, the safeties are on. Don't need to worry about that. This is very much a I don't want to kill you guys holodeck adventure. Very benign.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
No, it's the first one. It's everything's got to go okay. It's the next one. Whenever we go to the 40K universe, for me, that's whenever shit's gonna go sideways.
Oh yeah. Anyways, so there is an overwhelming contrast between the Arcadia and the place you've just stepped into. You're on the main street of a town known as Vel Storm. Vel Storm is nestled in a valley amongst great mountains with these grand snowy peaks. The streets are all made of a sort of white cobblestone, and the buildings themselves are made out of a similar stone, but also some wood and other materials in varying colors. Looming high above every building is this sort of like great castle slash cathedral. It's made in typical Serato Draco fashion, which is to say it very much resembles human Gothic and medieval architecture. In staring at said castle, you kind of realize that Vel Storm as a town runs right up to the castle's main gates. The road you're on kind of snakes along, but does lead right up to the gates, and you can see various training fields and whatnot before you. The air is fresh and crisp, and the sun is high overhead. Of note, this is not a quiet town. Velstorm streets are abuzz with activity. All of the populace, as you might have expected, being Heilong's program, they all are Serrato Draco of all shapes and sizes. Most of them are fairly averagely dressed in street clothes, but that makes picking out the exceptions very easily. Here and there, you see these rather buff-looking individuals with the stereotypical shining armor and pikes, and it really doesn't take you all that long, even if you are completely new to this sort of thing, to figure out that they're probably some form of guard for Velstorm. You also, probably to Rashow's delight, you do see a few performers on the streets. They are currently strumming lutes, other stringed instruments, some flutes, woodwinds, that sort of thing, just providing a merry tune to the town of Velstorm. And then you also see some mercenaries, such as yourselves, that are dressed in different armors that are ranging from simple cloth to leathers to full-on chainmail. And as soon as you all have stepped on through, the archway closes behind you and fades from existence to complete the masterful illusion. You're left standing on Main Street as vendors hawk their wares, children run amok, and the townspeople go about their daily lives. It doesn't really seem that any of them recognize you as being of a different species, only that you seem to be of an adventuring sort. To that end, most of them are giving you a respectable distance. So yeah, you've stepped on through, and that's where you are.
Welcome to the Officers' Mess Lounge.
It's interesting to say the least.
So, is there any sort of tech, or is this pretty much just medieval times for our respective worlds?
I would say this is definitely medieval times.
Okay.
Like the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have our armor and weapons, or no?
Actually, no. That would be something I was about to mention to the captain. So, Captain, you would know that in order to activate the part of the program you're interested in, you'll need to bring a well-kept party, or a well-equipped party of individuals to your mentor, Adros. So you would know that your first stop is going to be the smithy.
All right. If you'd like to follow me, let's get equipped.
All right.
All right.
You got it, Captain.
All right. Have I been using Heilong's sword, or have I been using one in the program?
That is entirely up to you.
I think I would have started off using one in the program, and then maybe having learned a little bit more about the Sarah Draco norms, I don't know if I'm supposed to actually use this sword she gave me or not.
I would say you've learned that a budding squire would be allowed to use such a weapon after about a month's worth of training. So you would be right at the cusp of whether or not you could technically bring it or not.
Okay, I'm going to say that after this quest is when I'm able to start using that.
All right, good to know. So, for sake of argument, we'll say that you guys kind of stroll along the streets with the captain in the lead. You eventually find the smithy, and Garrick's smithy, as the sign over the open forge says, is very easy to find. All you have to do is really follow the sound of metal on metal. Since it is an open forge, you can see right inside and see what's going on. So there, an extremely musculature Serreta Draco with charcoal-tinted scales, wearing a blacksmith's apron, is currently hammering away on what looks to be a blade of some sort. As you approach, he grabs the blade with a pair of tongs and quenches the hot metal in a nearby tub of water. He looks to you and begins to approach. And he says, "Well, hello there. My name is Garrick, and Tahan, it's good to see you again."
Call me Athos. I shake his hand.
Very good, very good. And who are your friends here?
Well, this is Lord Richaud, and we have Matic and Nilan.
He nods to each of you in turn. He says, "Well, they look like they could use some weapons and armor. Do you have anything in mind?"
I'm assuming he's asking this question to each of us.
Well, it's kind of an open question.
Kind of an open question? Okay.
Well, I'll just be using my sword as usual.
Oh, very good, very good.
I'll take an axe.
An axe, you say? All right, one moment. So he goes into the back and he picks up a big old battle axe, a big old two-handed battle axe, and he comes up and hands it to Matic, and he says, "Well, here you go."
Oh.
And no longer.
You have-
sorry. Go ahead.
You have somewhere I can swing it for a little bit, try to get used to its weight?
Sure. There's a training ground a bit up the road that would suit your purposes.
Alright.
What about armor? Would Matic, would you like some armor?
Leather or chain would be the best. Let's go with some chain.
Very good. And he goes off, comes back, and provides you with a thing of chainmail. So Nolan, I don't know
Yes.
if did you note the chart I put in Discord's resources channel?
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if any of you hadn't seen that chart already, that is the weapons and armor you can pick up.
Okay.
Obviously, if you have a more esoteric weapon or armor, we can discuss what stats to use for that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Alright.
Well, in that case, I'm just going to take some leathers for some armor. For a weapon, I'd love just a regular sword.
All right, that Garrick can do. So he comes back with this fairly standard sword that kind of resembles the same one that Tahan is wearing at his hip.
Okay.
And it is a fairly standard one-handed sword, so you don't need to wield it with two hands, but you do have the option of doing such. And
Okay.
of course, you do have the leathers as well.
Yeah.
And then that just leaves Rochelle, I think.
Rochelle's gonna kind of look at the available weapons, trying to see something similar to the staff that he would use in his martial art.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess failing that, kind of settle on a maul.
Okay. I mean, if you ask for a staff, I'm sure Garrett could get you something.
As we were walking up, sir, I noticed some of the guards had a long pole weapon with a sharp end on it. Do you have something like that?
You would like a pike?
If you say so.
Let me see what I've got in the back. And he goes further into the forge and kind of around a corner so you can't see him. And then he comes back with a literal 10-foot pole and then a pike. And he's like, "Would either of these be to your liking?"
The pike, please, I guess.
All right, so he hands you the pike. And let's use the axe rules for that. So three challenge die, vicious one, and cumbersome kind of a thing.
Okay.
What about armor?
Yes, chainmail.
Okay.
Something that's gonna protect me
All right, yeah.
more than leather.
Yeah. He'll come back with a smile and hand you a thing of chainmail. And then Tahan, I forgot to ask. You already obviously have your sword, but were you going with chainmail as well?
No, leathers, and then I'm also going to have a dagger hidden on my person.
Very good. Very good. So yeah, all of you get your items, and Garrick is very willing to help you get fitted. So he'll adjust the armor on each of you. He'll show you the very basics of how to hold your weapons, but he more or less will reiterate that the proper place to train with said weapons would be one of the areas before Castle Vel Storm proper.
All right, I guess I'll go test out my new sword that I have. That'll take some getting used to.
Are the rest of you following Nalan?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll meet up with y'all. I'm gonna when you get used to your weapons, I'm gonna go to the local tavern and get some refreshments for us.
Alrighty. So let's deal with the main part of the party going to the training grounds first. So you probably walk for about 5 to 10 minutes, the three of you, and as I said, there are these big open areas before the actual town of Vel Storm and Castle Vel Storm itself. In said space, there are a variety of training dummies, along with Soretta Draco in these great dirt circles. Some seem to be just doing, practice swings and practice forms, but you also do see some pairings that seem to be dueling one another. Though the clashing of metal is extremely impressive to watch, even to the untrained eye, you would be able to pick up that the duels are for sport and not meant to be lethal in any way, shape, or form. You also do see, mostly because he sticks out, because he is probably one of the larger Soretta Draco here. There is a gentleman with this wild, spiky white hair. And he's also got a Fu Manchu that is extremely well kept. His scales are of a dark turquoise color, and there are definite scars among them and his skin. One of his horns has been severed halfway, and that leaves kind of a stump there. So yeah, you all have the free reign of the training grounds.
I guess I'll go practice on one of those training dummies I saw earlier.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me for flavor. Go ahead and roll me a daring plus security.
So security. Is there any difficulty or no?
We'll keep it at difficulty 1.
Okay. Just daring security. No applicable focus.
All right. So,
woo.
Let's see. How badly did you fail? Not that badly. So, you go to strike. You stand in front of the training dummy at what you think is a good distance, and you go to swing at it with both your hands on it. I'm assuming, and as you come down, you realize that you're a bit too far away, so you try to overextend your arms a little bit, and you end up almost tripping forward over yourself, and you miss the target dummy completely.
It'll take a while, but I'll hopefully get comfortable with this.
One would hope.
Yeah.
So Matic and Rasho, are you doing the same?
Rasho will find a open space and start doing some of his Akujitsu forms with the pike to see, get used to the weight and how it differs from his regular staff.
All right, very good. Go ahead and roll me a daring plus security as well. And if I remember cumbersome correctly, it's been a while.
You need to take
an aim action, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that doesn't apply here since you're just swinging it around for fun. Okay, so Rasho, your experience with your own training program you're very easily able to pick up the weight of the weapon, and soon, I'd say probably after like a good 5 minutes, you're swinging this thing around like it's almost second nature. You feel like you can definitely do some damage with this weapon if required.
So was that a difficulty as one as well?
Yeah.
And does that mean we're generating?
Momentum, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And then we have Matic.
I'm gonna go poke at one of those dummies,
Okay.
but I want to go talk to that older Cetro Draco.
Okay.
Wait, what's the name of the species again?
Soretta Draco. I'll type it out.
Soretta Draco.
Yeah, it would help if I was on the right window. There you go. That's how it's spelled. And as usual, we'll butcher the name 6 Ways to Sunday. So.
Oh yeah.
So did you want to go to the grizzled gentleman first, or did you want to take a practice swing first?
I'll take a practice swing.
Okay. Daring plus security. Difficulty 1. All right, so
hell.
the axe is a little bit heavier than you expected. You don't, because you rolled a 13 on that, you don't quite trip yourself up, but it's definitely one of those things where as you're swinging it around, you have to consciously try to stop yourself before the inertia kind of trips you over, kind of a thing.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as the grizzled gentleman is concerned, he's currently engaged in a bit of a form that is foreign to you, but might be something Tahan would know. He's got this great two-handed sword that is massive. I would say it is easily a bastard sword. If a bastard sword was somehow fused with a, I believe it's a Zweihander? I might be wrong. Needless
German
to say,
two-handed sword.
yeah. It is a big old sword. And he's just going at it. I mean, he's swinging this thing around as if it was made of maybe made of wood or something lighter. It's very impressive to you.
I want to watch him for a little bit, and then whenever he goes to stop, I just want to call Mitzmon and then ask him if he has any pointers.
Okay. So when he sees you approach, he does 2 more quick swings, and then he turns to face you, and he plants the tip of the blade into the ground before him and rests his hands on top of the sword hilt and waits for you to come within speaking distance. And as you approach, you notice that his stark, almost ice blue eyes kind of rove over your form in an almost an appraising sort of way. And once you're in range, he says, "Hello, what is it that I can do for you, good sir?"
Matic, and you are?
"I am Adros."
Nice to meet you, Adros. Very impressive swordplay. Was curious if you had any pointers for me and my friends. We just came into town with a friend of ours who's a squire to a knight here.
All right. Well, he kind of looks Drax and says, show me your form. I'm interested to see how much work will be necessary." And that would be another daring plus security if you wanted to give it another go.
Yeah, why not? What's the worst that can happen?
You hit him, the town guards come, you get thrown in jail. No.
Oh, it's like a regular day in D&D.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
So you get even a momentum off that. Very good. So you proffer the axe and you give it a good quick several chops kind of in front of you. One left down, one right up. And after you swing it a few times, Adro says, "You You fight like a man possessed, but there's nothing wrong with that. A berserker such as yourself is a very potent ally to have. And then he kind of looks to where Nalan and Rochelle are doing their things, and he says, I assume these are your friends you spoke of?
Yes, Adros. The one with the very big stick is Rochelle, and then the one with just the regular sword is Nalan.
All right. So kind of in a very imposing, booming, commanding voice, Adro says, Milan, Rochelle, if you would be so kind as to join me. And you would both hear
okay.
this. Yeah. So I'm assuming both of you go over, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you come on over from your various training, and he says, well, from what I can tell, Rochelle, you seem to be somewhat skilled in the art of polearm fighting. But, Nalan, was it?
Yes,
show
sir.
me a swing of your own.
Jeez. This will probably not go well.
Nah, just believe in R and Jesus, man.
Let the dice gods be with you.
No applicable focus.
See? You believed in R and Jesus, and you rolled the same thing Matic did.
Well.
Yeah, so you get
A
another
19 and a
one.
1. Holy fuck.
Well, no, you rolled a 19 and 1. He rolled a 1 and a 19.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I think you guys have 3 momentum now, which is
3?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nalan, you give a good quick slashes, and now that you've figured out the weight of the sword, you're not like tripping over yourself. And Adro says, I see potential in you. Were I not already training Tahan, I would certainly be willing to instruct you on proper form.
Thank you.
Do we know that this is the Adros that's training Tahan, or is it
Well,
just...
he literally just said that he was training
Okay.
Tahan.
I'll just kind of like, hey, Tahan, that's our friend.
He kind of blinks a few times. He says, you are with Tahan.
Yes.
Yeah, Sir Knight.
Well, that's a happy coincidence. He was telling me about a group of friends he wanted to introduce to me. And then there's a very subtle change in the holodeck program. Almost like a stiff breeze coming through. The setting doesn't change, and neither do any of the holodeck characters, but there is a different kind of feel to the program. And he says, well, if you would find Tahan, you would... how do I want to say this? When you find Tahan, tell him that if he is interested in tackling the group challenge, as it were, that he should speak to Milan at the Night's Rest. Or Malin, I should say, sorry.
Speak to Malin at the Night's Rest. Got it.
That is correct.
He went to insert name of tavern. Could you give us directions, or should we just... Or is there a better place to wait for him?
I would be happy to give you directions, and he will give you directions to several taverns that would fit the bill. The Night's Rest is one of them. The Night's Rest is actually probably one of the biggest bars in Vel Storm. It's very easy to find.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think this is a good time to kick it over to the captain. So, Tahan, where are you going in terms of tavern? Are you going to coincidentally go to the Night's Rest, or are you just going to go for the cheapest or closest tavern to get refreshments?
So what I'm doing is, in addition to any like sundry items that we might need for our quest, I'm gonna find the biggest, like grossest looking street food. Like I'm talking like really like drippy, gooey, some like kind of giant meat on sticks, so I can freak them out when I give it to the rest of the party.
Okay.
Like some like weird Serrato Draco food that I've gotten used to at this point.
Oh, let's see. So you guys all know those big old turkey legs that they sometimes do at sporting events.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Imagine something like that, but it's more of a kebab than an actual full leg. But it is definitely a bit gnarly looking. And I should say these are big kebabs. Like think almost maybe like a foot and a half of meat and vegetables and other such greenery on this thing.
Um, but yeah, since I don't know that they're going to be heading to the night's rest, I'll. My plan was to meet them back at the training grounds.
Okay. So we'll say, for sake of argument, you guys meet about halfway. So Tahan obviously has skewers for each of you, and you all see each other approach.
Ah,
What is that?
friends, local cuisine here.
Oh. Hmm.
Just make sure you don't eat the beaks.
Oh. Oh.
Thank you, Captain.
I
After-
take a bite.
Yeah, after taking a bite, it's like either of them.
Oh.
Sure, we'll take the skewer and start picking out the greenery between the meat.
All right. So, Nalan, when you do bite into it, it's actually
no.
very. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was thinking something bad was going to happen, but go ahead.
No, it might. You never know. When you bite into it, it's actually very flavorful. If I had to kind of describe the taste, imagine if you took, like, have you ever had deer before or a gamey meat?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay, so imagine if you combined we'll say venison, because it's one everybody usually knows. If you
Right.
combined venison with a very choice prime rib.
Ooh. Okay.
It's very juicy, and even as you bite into it, a little bit kind of dribbles out of the corner of your mouth. It's that juicy.
Oh, that sounds really pleasant. This actually isn't half bad.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Well, and I'll just keep eating it, being careful of the beaks and such.
Okay. Luckily for you, there's only like 3 beaks you have to watch out for.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool.
So, how's your new equipment treating y'all?
Seems good, Captain. I
Oh,
guess the Smith knows his work.
good.
He's
You'll be
trained.
needing it.
That wasn't ominous at all. Good stuff.
So, I guess we should go find Adros.
Funny story. We actually ran into him at the training ground.
Oh, interesting. So he's already
Yeah.
met you all.
Yes, Cap. He told us to tell you if you want to do the group quest. We're supposed to go see Milan or Milane or something like that at the Night's Rest.
So we're looking for a guy with a big yellow exclamation point over his head, I'm guessing.
All right, I know the place.
It's a question mark.
I tried.
I got it.
All right,
I
let's,
appreciated it.
Wait, what's the exclamation point then?
The exclamation point is where you turn it in at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never played.
I thought it was exclamation point was where you picked it up, and then question mark is where you turned it in. It's been a while since I played WoW, so what do I know?
Oh
So,
no, I'm
yeah.
talking how it is on Guild Wars.
Ah.
Ow.
Never played WoW. I can happily say that.
I was a RuneScape baby.
Oh, boy.
Oh, so was I.
Yeah.
I think
Can't remember
everyone
what it
played
was like in
RuneScape.
Old Republic.
Oh, there you go.
Anyways, I'm assuming you guys head to the Night's Rest at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as I said earlier, the Night's Rest is very easy to find. It's a fairly large building, 2 stories tall. It's built with Soretta Dracos in mind, so both the doors and the ceilings are slightly larger than the usual human fare. Above the main entrance is this swinging sign of an armored Soretta Draco curled up around a pillow. Even on the street, you can hear the sound of hustle and bustle inside the tavern. And when you push inside, you see that the place is about half full at the moment. All sorts of people are present, ranging from your standard villager to a few off duty guards in a corner booth. The lighting is muted, with most of the ambient light being provided by this great skylight in the middle of the room. No one really seems to pay your group any mind as you enter.
Have I heard of Milan before? Malin?
This would be where I'd have you roll a history check, but since this is Star Trek Adventures, we'll call it an insight and command. Sure.
All right. No applicable focus.
Yeah, I don't think so, unfortunately.
All right.
Hey, 2 successes.
What was the difficulty?
I would have made it a 2, so no momentum, sadly.
Sure.
So you haven't been here but like once or twice when Adros brought you here as an after training kind of meal thing. But you would know that the main barkeep or the owner of the Night's Rest is Malin.
All right. I'll gesture towards the bar and walk up there myself.
Okay.
And kind of wait for him to wait to get his attention.
So behind the bar is a skinny-looking, green-scaled Soreto Draco man with short black hair and these dull brown eyes. He's currently engaged in the standard barkeep motions of perpetually cleaning the same glass over and over as he waits for someone or something to require his attention.
I'll kind of just raise my hand to get his attention. Malin.
He kind of snaps out of his reverie and looks over to you and he says, yes, what can I get you?
Sir Adros told me that you might have a need of 4 adventurers.
And again, there's a very subtle change in the program. You would notice immediately that his face hardens. And he says, yes, you're here about that. Well, take a seat in one of the booths, and I'll be around to you shortly.
All right.
So yeah, assuming you all go to sit in the booth, after about 10 minutes, he'll come around. So you've got about 10 minutes to speculate and talk amongst yourselves.
Kat, your previous missions or previous quests, what have they been like? Do you think you could try to gather what this one may be about?
Unfortunately, I believe I'm as much in the dark as you are. All my other adventures have been with Sir Adros, mostly. Lots of duels and jousts, but nothing quite like this, so I'm quite intrigued.
It's going to be an interesting experience for me. I'm not quite used to this kind of world.
No, it reminds me a bit of some of Earth history, but I can't say for sure. I would like to thank all of you again for, agreeing to spend some of your free time to help me out with this.
It's not a problem.
Ilong was busy anyway, so we couldn't really work on what you've been working on.
Right. How is that project going?
Less you know about, the better. That's probably the best way I could put it.
Oh, absolutely.
if we were to start talking like holodeck and stuff, would like the NPCs be like, "Hey, what the fuck are you talking about?" Or
So
is it
this
just kind of
is
like ignored?
Yeah, this is one of those programs where anything you say that's weird, like holodeck or hologram or the bridge, the program characters are going to not really, notice it. But obviously, if you like ask a character like, "Hey, what is your purpose here in the program?" He'll be like, "What do you mean by program?" kind of a thing. It's a fairly well designed program that handles most contingencies, but there is no, at least from the perspective of NPCs, there is no fourth wall breaking like that one Irish village in Voyager. At least not yet. Woo.
Uh-oh. Just
Okay.
learning.
Captain, the changes, this very subtle changes that have been happening in the program, do these happen a lot, or is this just like a new occurrence?
What do I know?
You would know that this is probably how the program would transition into the group challenge. Most of your experience has been with, obviously, with Adros, and it's always been kind of what Adros wants to train you on, kind of thing. It's not your, like, you guys are specifically staking out on your own kind of quest sort of deal. So it's very different than the usual.
No, Medic. I'd have to say that that's new, at least for me.
New as in it's the program adapting, or new as in program might have issues?
Hmm. I don't know. If you're worried, we could summon the Arch.
Not worried, just cautious.
I think that's a fair attitude to have. We can keep an eye out for it.
All right. So it's about this time that Malin comes over and joins you guys at your booth. And he kind of leans in over the table and places his hands such that he can rest his chin on the top of them. And he says, "There's no really easy way for me to say this, but my daughter, Kailoya, recently went missing. She was on a trek between Vel Storm and the city of Lava Mantle, sorry, deeper into the valley. As a priest of Tumahab, she was traveling with several others of her convent, but their group never arrived in Lava Mantle. The disappearance is fresh enough that in both towns, we are still forming search teams. And I would appreciate it if you all, coming from Lord Adros's graceful tutelage, would be at the forefront of this search. I can reward you handsomely." And he begins talking about some form of Soretta Draco currency that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it's a pretty hefty sum.
Of what god was your daughter a member of the convent to?
Tumahab. And I'll type it out and you'll get the joke.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely, Milan. We will look for your missing daughter. Um, are we ready to leave now?
Whenever you are.
Are there and have I ventured much outside of this city?
I would say you've done some trips outside of the city, but never to Lava Mantle.
Okay. Do I know anything about the god Tumahab? at this point?
You would know that he is the equivalent of Buddha, I would say, or Buddhism. I actually forget the proper religion here, so we'll go with Buddhism. While the Tumahab as a figure is kind of this all-knowing individual, most of the teachings and practices are like Buddhism. And I'm sure someone on recording will be like, You're messing up religions. You can't do that." And I'll just apologize for that now.
Okay.
How can we identify your daughter as your daughter? Is there any sort of defining markings or anything?
Yes, I happen to have a portrait of her. One moment. And he stands and goes behind the bar, and you see him pick up one of the paintings, small paintings that kind of hangs over where he keeps the gold. And he comes back over and shows you the portrait. And obviously it's not like a camera kind of picture, but it's this sort of like mix between pen scratch and actual painting. And the female you see in the picture is this white-scaled, red-headed Soretta Draco with strikingly green eyes. You're not really able to determine her body shape or how tall she is, but you would know looking at this photo that you would be able to maybe pick her out in a crowd, kind of a thing.
Well, I say we best get on foot. Milan, do you know the best place to acquire any kind of steed?
Yes, in fact. There are some stables that are actually right on the exit that leads towards Lava Mantle.
I think I know the one you're talking about. Thank you very much.
Of course, and best of luck in finding my daughter.
It seems pretty chill about it.
Well, he's maybe not saying it in the right inflection, but you would, even though his voice is calm, you would see that his face is distorted in worry. Like he doesn't want to make a scene in front of the bar, kind of a thing.
Got it. Well, I guess we're off.
Onward to adventure.
Verily.
All right. So, actually, I do want to ask real quick. Richaud, did you maybe want to loot or something to go along with your outfit? Or
Yeah, sure.
Richaud's our bard, guys. Richaud's our bard.
Yeah, that's kind of what occurred to me.
Chainmail wearing bards, yeah.
Yeah.
So, along the way to the Rahi stables, you do pick up a lute, and you begin, doing your best to figure out a tune. But it's one of those meandering things where you're not really sure what you're doing, but it sounds good because it's a lute.
Well, Rochelle was raised by artists, so he definitely had like music lessons as a kid. So he can
well,
This
roll
is
me. Oh boy, what would you even make this test? Roll me.
interesting question.
Presence Con.
Presence con.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe control plus science.
Okay, sure.
All right.
And since you have musical training, we'll call it a difficulty 1.
All right. Definitely do not have a focus. Control plus science. All right. Cool.
Hey!
Brave Sir Robin. Brave that way.
We made momentum with music.
You did.
That's how
He
bards
is
do.
the bard.
Yes.
So, Richaud, you strum a merrily tune that actually isn't half bad. You're gonna obviously have to practice with the lute before you go off and do your own show, but you were providing a merrily tune for everyone else.
Just like
Lovely.
my aunt's banjo. All right, good stuff.
Yeah. So, you all eventually arrive at the Rahi stables, and I should say that instead of horses, there are these sort of great lizard looking things. They kind of look if you were to take a rhino and a Komodo dragon and you made it horse sized,
Whoa.
and that's kind of what you're looking at here.
Oh.
If it matters, the actual name of the species are Okiu. Okiu.
Hmm.
But the stable hand, or at least one of them, will see you approach, and he'll stop shoveling hay and horse manure, and he'll come up to you and he says, "Hail! What can I do for you, fine gentlemen?"
We would need 4 of your fastest OQ to rescue a fair damsel.
He kind of smiles and he says, "Ah, adventurers, I see. Would you be bringing the Okiu back?"
You have my promise.
Excellent. Well, in that case, we'll say 10 gold for the rental fee.
I'll fish out 10 coins and hand it to the clerk? No. To him.
To him. Okay. So he takes it, and he does that stereotypical thing where he bites one of the coins to make sure it's real. And
It's as real as he is.
Yeah. But to him, he bites the coin, seems satisfied, and pockets the coin. He says, "Very good. You may take your pick of the stables." And so yeah, the OQ, they all have different colors to them. So if you have a favorite color, go for it. I will say that while there are 4 OQ for you guys to use, one of them is kind of on the runtier side.
Oh, dibs.
Nice.
Of the 3 remaining, could I possibly use my telepath skill to see which might be the most, like, friendly, I guess?
Now, I would say yes if these were real, but they're holograms.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, the only thoughts you're picking up are your fellow crewmen in the holodeck.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair.
I'll pick a green one.
Okay.
I guess I'll take a red one. There's a red one there.
Yes, it goes faster because it's red.
There you go.
And then Matic, what about you?
I guess since I'm the barbarian of the group, I'm gonna select like the meanest looking one.
Okay. We'll say it's this black, like jet black OQ with kind of an imposing horn. I don't want to say it's like a unicorn, but it kind of is. It's kind of this curving thing jutting from its head that is much larger than any of the other OQ's horns. And then Richaud, to kind of describe the runty one a little bit better. So imagine an OQ, as I've described it, if it was a Shetland pony.
Is this like a the Hobbit? Whenever they're all like sitting on the side, you just see the one just kind of like ride by on his little tiny ass horse.
Yup.
Also, imagine Richaud is actually one of the bigger members of the crew as well. He's over 6 feet. So,
Yeah, there's a severe
thank you.
mismatch in size. But
weird looking lizard, come and be my friend.
this is happening.
Yeah. It most certainly is.
So the good news is all of the OQ, including the Shetland pony-sized one, seem to take your weights well. Luckily, they already come with barding, so you don't have to purchase it or fiddle with the barding to, have a seat on the back. But you all now are mounted.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Richaud, care to lead us?
I'm not sure where we're going, Captain.
That away.
Onward to adventure.
Good. All right. So you guys, set off with your mounts on the road to Lava Mantle, and we are going to change scenes, so lose one momentum. The road between Vel Storm and Lava Mantle is heavily wooded. The winding dirt path between the trees is scantily wide enough to fit two carts side by side. From either side of the road, great branches reach out in a futile attempt to form an actual canopy. The trees themselves are of a dark oak-like color, and the foliage is of a lush green. As you get further and further away from Vel Storm, so too does the amount of people on the road decrease. And eventually it gets to the point where you're the only ones in sight.
Wow.
As we're traveling, Rochelle is going to ask the captain, Sir, so this is a representation of Hailong's planet and culture, correct?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Do you know if it's contemporary or something from their past?
I believe it is from their past.
Okay, guess that makes sense.
I wonder if now we should be starting to look for signs of the bandits.
Probably is a good thing to do. I would say, because we haven't really gotten to the point where the location I have in mind is, we'll say you for the moment, you guys are just keeping a keen eye for any sign of possible missing party. But as you do, I did want to get a fitness plus con from everybody, just to see how well both you're handling riding the Okyu, and two, how you're adjusting to the weight of the armor.
Okay.
So we'll set this at a difficulty of 1 for everybody.
Okay. I'm going to take a wild guess and say composure won't apply here.
Nah, unfortunately
Okay.
not.
That's fine.
So I think, let's see, so Risho gets momentum, Matic gets a momentum, and the captain and Nalan failed. So Risho and Matic, you guys are having a jolly old time. Risho, you're strumming along on your little lute. Your Shetland pony is surprisingly nimble. It's having no problems keeping up with the rest of the group. Matic, your Okyu is almost like you have to hold it back to keep it from running off to adventure on its own, kind of a thing. Tahan and Nalan.
Yep.
So you guys are having a little bit of difficulty with controlling your Okyu. I'd like to say to kind of put it in perspective, and I'll use the tokens here. So if Risho is at the front and Matic is somewhere next to him, like he's not quite at the front, but he's there, then you guys are probably like all the way back here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, do you need us to slow down a bit? Are we going too fast to look for bandit sign properly?
No, it's fine. It's
We're
okay. We're right behind you.
We'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
All right. So let's see, how badly did you guys actually roll? So an 18 and a 19,
Oh,
and a 17 and a 12. Okay. So another 15 minutes pass of you guys struggling to, get the Okyu to do what you want. And then eventually, Nalan, yours just sits down. Like, it decides right here is a good place to sit.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, I'll call ahead at this point. We need to stop for a second.
I know I'm laughing, but Matic gets like real serious. Is everything okay, Captain? Did you did you see anything? Did we miss something? Are Risho and I going too fast?
It's Nellen's Okyu. I'll hop off my own and start looking at it.
Okay.
I'll ride over and grab the captain's Oki's reins. That way he doesn't like go off by itself.
Good call. Good call. Tahan, as you look at Nalan's Okyu, the best descriptor I have for this is it's acting kind of like a stubborn cow does when a cow lays down. So no matter how much you poke or prod or squeeze its side, this thing ain't moving. It just seems content to sit here.
Any suggestions, Captain? And I'm just like futilely trying to get it to go back up on its feet.
Hop off it for a second, but grab its reins.
Sure. And I hop off.
All right. The moment you hop off.
Oh, no.
The moment. I need you to roll me. I want to make sure I do this right. I believe it will be a fitness plus security roll.
Oh, this is
at a difficulty of
bad.
2.
This is going to be bad.
You do have momentum. I will say
we
that
have,
much.
I think we have 5.
Yes, we do.
All right.
All right, I guess I'll use momentum to... Hold on. I need to look at momentum uses again.
You could use it to buy an extra die.
We can also use 2 to create an advantage.
You could do that too.
Yeah. I guess I'll spend 2 to create an advantage, I guess.
Okay. And what would this advantage be?
Oh.
Could I be standing in front of the thing?
You could. That could be the advantage.
Okay. So what is that? Hold on, I need to read up on the create advantage thing.
It'll just reduce the difficulty by 1.
Yeah, so
okay,
the
gotcha.
difficulty would only be a 1.
Gotcha. Okay. So no applicable focus.
Hey, look at that. You
there
get
we go.
momentum back.
Yeah.
So, as I said, the moment you step off, the Okyu tries to stand up and bolt away. But since the captain is there in front of it, between the two of you, you're very quickly able to wrangle the Okyu, but it is now bucking and trying to pull away from its reins best as it can.
I'm sure we'll try and play a calming song.
Okay. Geez, what do you even do for song? We'll call it
I'd say presence.
Medicine?
Presence command.
Presence
I could go with
command.
insight there.
Command, yeah.
Let's do presence command. Why not? And we'll say standard difficulty 2.
All right. Unfortunately, this is not a great roll for me. All right.
You do have 4 momentum of which to spend.
I sure do. I'm going to spend one of those momentum.
Okay.
All right.
You can do it.
Probably not.
What, the difficulty 1 here or 2?
That's 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy.
3 dice, 0 successes. Huzzah.
So, Risho, you go to start to try and strum a tune that you think might calm the beast, and
Came in like a wrecking ball. No? Nope. Not working? Okay.
so the moment you start playing Tahan, your face almost blanches because you realize Risho has accidentally started strumming a Serrata Draco battle tune. So all of the Okyu, and I mean all of them,
Oh no.
begin trying to gallop away. So I'm not going to have you roll for this per se, but Matic, yours is like rearing up, like it wants to go somewhere. It is taking all of your control to keep this thing from just bucking you off or running away. Risho, since you have the glorified Shetland pony, it's trying to buck you off, but I mean, come on, it's a tiny little thing. You're not
Settle
going
down,
anywhere.
Bartholomew. Settle down.
Nilan, your Okyu is... It's definitely almost like dragging you and the captain back.
Oh no.
It's that frantic. But yeah, that's what happens when Risho starts strumming the tune.
Everyone's a critic. Wah wah.
While all this is going on, is there a way that I can look around to make sure that like we don't have someone sneaking up on us?
Sure. I believe that would be an insight plus security at a difficulty of 2.
Side security difficulty of 2. Yeah, I ain't got no focuses. Hey!
Hey, you
there
get a
you go.
momentum. So you're looking at the
Got a
tree
great roll.
line. You're looking at the road, both up and down the road. You're not seeing a single soul. Um, Luckily, it seems that the only people around or animals that seem to be around are yourselves and the OQ.
How much do OQ like food?
I would say you would know that the proverbial apple that you offer to a horse would be a good thing to possibly calm them down.
Well, it's a good thing I have proverbial apples.
These be
Roll me
like,
a d4. We'll see how many proverbial apples you have.
All right. Two.
You have 2 apples.
I will take them out and offer them to the horses that are the OQ that are running away.
Okay. So which 2 in particular?
Oh, I guess. Oh, wait, really, it's only first Newland's OQ, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. And if this was D&D, I'd have you roll animal handling, but this is Star Trek Adventures. Roll me a presence plus command for you. That seems to be a good roll for this, and we'll call it a difficulty 2 as well.
All right, that's a good roll for me. And you wouldn't give me diplomacy here, would you?
Unfortunately, no. You cannot diplomance a horse, a glorified horse.
Diplomancy. All right. Or team dynamics. All right, I'm rolling.
Hey, you succeed. So, with
All
the
right.
promise of the proverbial apple, Nalan's OQ calms down and chomps away at the food it's been offered. That still leaves 2 troubled OQ. So your own, Tahan, and Maddox.
All right. Well, I'll have to make do. I will pull out my dagger and cut the remaining apple in half,
Okay.
and hope a half apple is good for each of these other 2.
So I'm gonna spend some threat here, because this seems like because of course you fuck with your players by fucking with their horses. I'm gonna make this a difficulty 3 task.
Oh, all right.
can I try to assist by trying to calm down my own okay?
I would say at this point the OQ is just not listening to anything you're doing, Maddox. So unfortunately not.
Now my talent diffuse the tension gives me an extra die when trying to avoid violence.
You know what? I'll allow it. Let's go with it. Why not?
All right. So it's difficulty 3.
Yes.
All right. I'd like to spend 1 of our 4 momentum to get a 4th. Oh no, I'd have to spend 2 to get a 4th die. But the 3rd will be free from the talent.
Would you have to spend
that's-
2 or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you spend momentum to get it, I think you have to spend the most expensive price.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those oversights in the rules that you kind of just have to make a judgment call about.
Okay.
No, I think they've got it, but it's hard to. It's buried in there.
Let's look it up real fast, just because this might come up in a future game. All right, so diffuse the tension. Whenever you attempt a task to someone not to resort to violence, you may add a bonus d20 to your pool. So the way I read this, you could do either you spend 1 momentum and then the bonus d20 is after that, or if I'm feeling of it as a vindictive DM, I would say, yeah, you would have to spend 2 momentum.
Well, if that is the option you're giving me, I will take it.
Well, here's what I'll do. In the interest of letting RNGesus decide, I will flip a coin in Roll20, and whatever the number is, that's how much momentum you gotta spend. You gotta spend 2.
Okay. Is that all right, or is this not worth it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we're down to 2 momentum. So I'm rolling 4 dice now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is still Presence Command?
Still presence command.
Right. Now, this is also greatly increasing our chance of a complication.
It is. Hey, you get a momentum back. Very nice. Tahan, you are able to calm the remaining OQ with the half apples. And very shortly, you all get control of your mounts once again. They are responding to your commands and direction.
Whew. That was almost bad. Oh, jeez.
Wait till you meet the bandits. They don't like apples as much.
Oh, I kind of figured, but I
Yeah.
appreciate the heads up.
I'll remount my OQ and get ready to get on again.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'll do the same.
So, I can skip ahead during this time, but I did want to leave it open for your RPing. It will be about another 30 minutes before you get to the quote-unquote next scene.
Huh. I guess at this point, after falling off of my OQ, I'm doing everything I can to keep it under control during this time, so I'm not really talking to anybody.
Okay. We'll go down the line. We'll start at the bottom. So that's Milan. Richaud, are you doing anything during this time?
I think Michelle is gonna kind of embrace the bardic lifestyle a little bit and strum out half-remembered tunes from his music lessons as a kid. Strictly avoiding any.
Classical music.
Well, I was gonna say anything similar to what he played that set off the Oku. So, no Taylor Swift, no, forget what the name of what her name. Yeah, basically no Carly Rae Jepsen. Yeah, just avoid that whole genre of music.
No pop music here.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Which is unfortunate because that's like 90% of what he knows. So.
So he has to think really hard.
All right. Very good. Matic, what are you doing during this time?
I'm just keeping an eye out, making sure that we're not gonna get ambushed, and probably just. I've probably had the holodeck have a book appear for me, like a how to be a barbarian book.
I'll say your next roll. I will let you the next melee roll you make. You can decrease the difficulty by 1.
All right,
I'll allow it. Why not? And then we have the captain, Tahan. What are you up to?
I'm going to be looking for any evidence of like a cart being pulled off the road, or maybe suspicious addition or subtraction of prints along the trail.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'll just be quietly wondering. Well, no, I would be interested in Richaud's music. Might ask him where he learned it.
Oh, well, my aunt who raised me was actually a concert musician, and when I was a kid, she made sure I took music lessons and various art lessons, and never actually stuck. I didn't take much interest, but I guess some things actually do stay with you, your whole life.
Well, Starfleet's certainly glad to have you. What did she play?
She was a pianist.
Huh. And did you take piano lessons?
I took some piano lessons, guitar. She had a banjo that I enjoyed playing, and it's mostly transferable here, as far as I can tell.
Banjo?
Yeah.
What's a banjo?
Pardon?
What is a banjo?
It's like a small guitar, I guess. It kind of has a twangy noise to it. It's, it was very popular. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Sounds interesting. Is that an Andorian instrument?
No, it's a human instrument.
Oh, I've not heard of one. I'll have to listen to some samples afterwards.
I'll just say as a point of order, you guys are on a holodeck. You could have one made.
Indeed. Rochelle will summon Banjo.
All right.
No!
So you say computer, banjo, and your lute is immediately replaced by a banjo.
Yes.
Start strumming out like the first couple chords that he remembers from The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Good call. Good call.
I was not expecting it to have a membrane, like a percussion instrument, under the strings. That is quite interesting.
I don't know much about Tahana's trill, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. I don't know much about trill instruments, but Earth created a wide variety of musical instruments and musical styles throughout their history. Rochelle will idly, strum it as banjo now that it's a banjo. So
Very good. All right, so I'm going to kick you guys over to this map, and then I'll read the narrative. You might want to zoom out for this one so you can see everything. You guys are at the very bottom. Where's my narrative? There it is. All right, so by now, the sun has started to descend towards the horizon. Even though it still has a ways to go, the great mountains surrounding you cast wide swaths of shadow across the valley. This makes seeing into the forest around the road a bit difficult. Already, some creatures of the night are stirring, and soon you're treated to what's essentially an alien nighttime soundscape. There's all sorts of odd noises, ranging from owls that are several pitches too high to crickets that are, coincidentally, more like banjos. The good news is you're still able to see the road ahead of you for the time being. Before you is a significant bend in the road. The path curves off to your left and disappears behind the trees, which are now a sea of darkness. Proceeding forward, you eventually begin to pick out what looks to be a downed wagon of some sort. One of the wooden wheels has been snapped clean off of its axle, and the gray fabric covering the cart bed is torn in several places. There are dark forms on the ground all around it, along with blood, though you'll have to get closer in order to figure out what these forms might be.
I want to light a torch and then throw it over by the wagon.
Okay. We'll call that a ranged attack, quote unquote. So control plus security at a difficulty of 2. Very good.
Hey.
So you lob a torch, and it's a good throw. Like, you should probably go back in time and sign up for the NFL kind of throw. The torch lands nearby one of the forms on the ground, and I'll say to Han, since you've been around Soreto Draco enough, you'll know this. You'll see that these masses on the grounds are severed Soreto Draco tails. And you would also know that this is an extremely grave dishonor. So whoever did this was sending a message.
Just for the canon notes, what color is Soreto Draco blood?
It's red on roll 20, but I'd say it's probably more of like a deep purple.
Okay.
Is this like a wagon like I'm transporting goods, or wagon like I'm riding in it?
I would say it's like a fusion of both. It is think old like Oregon Trail kind of wagon.
Oh, okay. Are there, from here and from the light of the torch, can we see any symbols or anything that might indicate where this wagon, like who may own this wagon, and are we able to tell how long it's been like broken off to the side?
Yeah, so from where you are, you would see a faded symbol of Tumahab, but you'd have to get closer in order to investigate the other stuff.
All right.
I'll go ahead and let the my other party members know that the act of severing tails like this is an intentional dishonor.
Do the tails grow back?
I never thought to ask.
So, and this is something I might change in the future. The way I had imagined it is that they get a freebie. So their first tail that they lose will grow back, but after that, you're left with a stump, more or less.
It's like baby teeth.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Weird. Cool though.
I guess I'll ride up to the wagon.
All right. Go ahead and move your token as appropriately. And do you? Yeah, I was gonna say, do the rest of you go up with him? Do you hang back?
I'm going to cautiously pull out my sword and move up with them.
Right.
Same.
So now that you're closer, you do realize that there are approximately 4 tails on the ground. Luckily, it doesn't seem that there are no white-scaled tails among them. So if this is indeed Kailoya's caravan, her tail is not on the ground.
Did he tell us how many people were with his daughter, or is it just my daughter was traveling with some people?
The latter.
Okay.
But about how many people could fit on a wagon like this?
Looking at it and knowing what you know about Soretta Draco, you're guessing probably about 5 people.
All right. Judging by the size of this wagon, I think 4 to 6 people were on it.
All right. I mean, if we have 4 tails, plus if this is the wagon that we're looking for, that'd make 5 people. Maybe one of them drove, maybe not. So, does anyone see where they could have been taken off towards? Like, is there a blood trail? Does anyone see a blood trail?
Anyone who would like to look can roll me a reason plus security at a difficulty. I'm going to spend more threat. Difficulty 3.
Oh, jeez.
I've learned I've got to spend threat. So
yeah. Let's see, reason. What was it? Reason security.
Reason security. Yes.
So we could have 2 of us roll, or 3 of. How many? Wait, how much momentum do we have?
We have 3 right now. I mean, we're better off by either creating an advantage or putting the momentum into one person rolling.
But we can also have somebody aid, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, so if you want to assist, only one of you can assist.
Well,
I would like... Go.
I was just going to say, rules are that multiple people can assist, but every person that does assist increases the complication range.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair.
Every person beyond the first, I should say.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I guess you all could conceivably help, but that, as Richaud has pointed out, that would increase the complication range, and also that is more potential for complications.
Okay. Well, Matic, this was your idea, so if you want to lead the role, I'd be happy to assist you on it.
All right.
And I couldn't possibly use the command discipline in my assist, because that would also give him a reroll for my advisor talent.
I'll allow it. Why not?
All right. What would mine be? Reason command then?
Yeah, I'll call it a. Well, no, it can't be reason command because those are both attributes. Or no, no, it's you had it right. Reason command would apply. Sorry.
Okay.
Do y'all mind if I spend a momentum to get an extra dice, or just keep it as is?
No,
If everyone's
that's fine.
assisting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't have enough focus.
All right. So you do get to re-roll a die because of the captain helping.
And I got 1.
Yeah. So I would recommend re-rolling that 19.
Then 13. All right.
All right. And
yeah.
That's actually a double pass. So you get a momentum back, I believe.
I thought the difficulty was 3.
It is, but since he rolled below a 3, doesn't he get double because that's his...
If he has an applicable focus.
Oh, right. Sorry. Brain fart. So yeah, then...
Not that I want to prevent us from gaining momentum. Just, you know.
No, it's okay. I do not mind being rule checked. So yeah, you would pass.
But I do get to roll a challenge dice for untapped potential. Because I've
there
been
you
forgetting
go.
to do that.
Oh, nice. That puts us at 2 momentum, right? Before his challenge die?
Yeah, we've got 2 momentum now.
So you get a threat, and we also get a momentum, I think. Right?
I
Rochelle?
believe
Yeah,
that's the way
that
it
is
works,
correct.
yes.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
And just so long as we were doing rules checks, I did go through the rules, and I'm pretty sure Tahan was right about buying dice and how it costs more after you bought the first one with determination or talent.
Oh,
Okay.
well, we did it right anyways.
Yeah, we did it right. Good to know.
Cool.
All right. So your success on this task. So Matic, you can either hop off your OQ and the OQ won't go running off, or you could stay on your OQ. As you are inspecting the site of combat, you can tell that the wagon was blindsided by a hail of arrows before some great force caused one of the wheels to snap off. Based on the scuffle marks that are still kind of present, you'd be able to guess that about 4 assailants beset the travelers. And since it is a difficulty 3 task and you did succeed, you would find that there is a blood trail that leads deeper into the woods. However, the way into the forest is not going to accommodate your OQ. Well, except for Rishos. Rishos could come along.
Bartholomew, forward!
Well, I recommend we tie off our OQ a little bit into the woods off the trail. And then continue on foot.
I won't argue with that.
Is there any sign of the animals that were pulling the cart and what happened to them?
Unfortunately, no. There are no signs. Like, there's big old, like, stomp marks in the ground where they obviously were, but there's no body, there's no extra blood. It's very strange.
Okay.
Is there a way to have, like, bedrolls or, like, some sort of, like, covers or something to, like, cover up the tails?
If you look in the wagon, there are, we'll say, a number of cloth materials you could use for this.
All right.
Or we could just do this. Computer, remove tails.
I mean, you can do that too, so the tails disappear.
Immersion. Damn it. Immersion.
I appreciate both of your spirits in that. But Matt, that was an excellent idea. I wish I had thought of it.
See enough dead bodies, you get used to just covering up the parts that are left behind.
So it's about this time that a gentleman steps out from behind a tree. And he approaches your little band of adventuring party, and he says, "Well, hello there. It's a good thing you came. As you see, our wagon was attacked, and we could really use some help. I've got injured back here."
Does this person have a tail?
This person does have a tail.
All right.
Can we see if he's lying?
I would say that would be an insight plus crap. I think it's security or command. I'll allow either, and I would say that this would be a difficulty 1.
Okay.
Ignore the label on his token on the map.
Yeah, ignore the name on his token.
Yeah.
I forgot to turn it off, but
It's fine. I think we were already thinking it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
So you get a momentum back. Yeah,
Nice.
Milan, this guy's full of shit.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Do you tell us he's full of shit?
Oh, yeah, I do. Wait, could I say it to them all telepathically, maybe, since I've known these people for a while?
I'll allow it, sure.
Yeah, just so he doesn't realize we're going to call him out, but I'm sure one of us will.
Okay. Given that, and knowing that I have a dagger hidden on my person,
Mm-hmm.
I will approach the bandit, and yes, could you lead the way for us?
Of course, of course. Then he looks to your OQ and he says, let's tie them off first."
Oh, right. I keep an eye on him the whole time.
Okay.
Do you have medical supplies, or do we need to try to get some from the wagon, or have one of us run back to town real quick?
Oh, if you could grab the healer's kit from the wagon, that would really help.
Is there said healer's kit in a wagon?
So go ahead and move your tokens just so I know where everyone is at this point. All right. So as you poke your head into the wagon, Matic, you hear a rustling from your right. And I'd like you to roll me an insight plus security at a difficulty of 2.
That's security difficulty of 2. Does this have anything to do with... I doubt it. So no focuses. Da-da-da-da. I told it to roll and it hasn't rolled yet. No.
All right. So the good news is this is going to succeed at cost. So you do find what appears to be the medieval equivalent of a healer's kit. So there are kind of cloth for bandages. There's some form of strong liquor to be used as kind of a cleansing agent.
Jarrow leeches.
General, general leeches, because leeches are fun. But as you poke your head back out of the wagon, you very suddenly realize that there is another gentleman standing kind of at the other side of the road. But it doesn't seem that the others have noticed him yet.
Hiya, pal. Thanks for sneaking up on us. What the fuck you want?
All right, you all hear this.
All right, I'll pull out my sword.
Okay. So the bandit next to Han says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Let's handle this like gentlemen, shall we? Boys, come on out!" And he snaps his fingers, and 2 more appear in the forest. And the bandit who's talking to you says, I really don't care who you're here looking for, or if you're just hopeless travelers. We can do this one of 2 ways. Either you give us all your gold and your OQ and turn around and head back to town, or we can just kill you on the spot.
I find now that neither of those options agreeable.
You heard him, boys. And it's at this point that we're going to try out a little bit of combat.
Ooh.
So let me put. I'll put one bandit on. I'll put one. I'll put Tahan on for you guys. All right. So since this is the first round of combat, remember, I believe it's Rasho who has the talent that allows two of you to go before the bandits do.
That is correct.
All right. So which two want to act first?
Well, this is my holodeck adventure, so I would like to act first,
Okay.
and I'm just going to give it a good old chop with my sword. I don't know if there's any relevant minor actions to be using here.
I would recommend personally the aim action simply because it allows you to roll a d20 on the attack.
Oh, it gives me an extra d20 on the attack, or
Well,
a reroll.
it lets you
Reroll.
reroll. It doesn't give you an extra.
Okay, I'll do that. So, daring security.
Daring security opposed at 1.
All right. No focus.
All right, 2 successes. Oh, he also gets 2 successes, but since you are the active character, I believe you succeed.
Okay.
Yes, you win. You are the active character.
Right, and coincidentally, it's the same number of challenge dice as my Type 1 phaser, so I'll just use that.
Okay.
Which is 2 plus my security. What? No. Okay, never mind. I lied.
Okay.
Okay.
And the good news is because the sword has vicious, that's actually 4 damage.
Oh, okay.
So you pull out your sword and you go to do a lateral chop across the bandit's chest, kind of in a manner you learned from Adros. It's almost like the lateral slash across the chest is a challenge to a duel, and your sword cuts into the bandit's leather and only draws the very smallest hint of blood.
As a question for the party, would a momentum spend be warranted here to maybe reroll some of the challenge dice or add to the damage to get an injury?
Hmm.
Because I think it's 5 with an injury. He's probably got 1 or 2 resistance because I think he's wearing leather armor.
Mm-hmm.
How much momentum do we have?
Should
We
have
have-
4 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go ahead
Yeah.
and spend 1.
I think the reroll is the most efficient way to get it because I've got 3 dice that didn't give me anything.
All right.
All right, I'd like to do that.
All right.
Oh.
So still 4.
No, that's replacing the 3 zeros.
Oh, okay. So that's actually 4 plus the 4 you got in earlier. All right. So in stereotypical Critical Role fashion, how would you like to do this?
Oh,
You killed a thing.
yeah. I like the. Let's see. I'm not particularly interested in the details.
Mm-hmm.
I just go for with the cleanest, most efficient, like piercing lunge I can.
Okay. I probably should have asked this before the attack. Are you being non-lethal or lethal?
Non-lethal because I don't need to give you any threat.
I'm glad someone remembered. All right, so we'll say that you come in with your sword and you perform a flourish that Adros taught you, and it brings the bandit who is talking to his knees, clutching a rather grievous-looking stomach wound. But he is essentially out of combat for this scene. But who would like to go next?
I mean, I can go if neither of y'all want to go.
Go for
That's
it.
fine.
Whatever, it's all good.
All right. Have we this is probably gonna. This is gonna tie in.
Mhm.
Have I dismounted yet, or am I still mounted?
I would
Has
say in
that
order
been
to get into the wagon, you would have had to dismount.
okay? The bandit that I saw over here,
Mm-hmm.
does he have? What does he have? Just like a regular sword, like the rest of us, or
Yeah, he's just got a sword.
okay? Um, I'm just gonna yell some belligerent nonsense and then just charge him.
Okay. Um, Not that you're in range, but just so everyone is aware, anything that is 10 feet is going to be close range, and anything that is 30 feet will be medium, and then anything beyond that will be long range.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Matic, you are certainly able to run up and swing at this guy. So that would be again an opposed daring plus security at a difficulty of 1. All right, very good. And let's see how the bandit fares. Oh wow, they're rolling real good today. But again, the important thing is you are the active character and you succeed. So I'll. Oh well, this is a point of order I forgot to mention because you have an axe. Let me double check the rules on cumbersome real fast.
You have to do a preparation action before going. So if Matic moved and did the preparation action, that would cost us 1 momentum, which I think we should be fine with.
All right. Mark off the appropriate momentum. And that's
Yep.
my fault for not reminding you, but we'll roll with it. It's not like you guys don't have 50 momentum anyway.
We got 2.
So yeah, Matic, I believe since you have an axe, it is 3 challenge die plus your security score.
All right. What? So,
Is it not coming up?
for some reason, I thought that if I just clicked on the little Starfleet symbol next down in weapons, that it would just roll the challenge dice, but apparently it rolls the entire thing for you.
Yeah, I would just use the macro that I set up. Yeah, there you go. So that's a
So
total
that's
of 4.
4. Yeah, and then I guess I could spend another momentum and re-roll those zeros, or no?
I think that'd probably be good because if you get, I think if you get like 4 more damage, you'll probably take him out.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I was misreading. Yeah, it's fine.
I'd say go for it, man. All right, so that's a total of
7.
7. Is it? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yes. Do you have any particular flavor text for this?
Y'all just see Matic hop out of the wagon and pick and like kind of lift the axe in the air with both hands. He just starts screaming incoherently. You see him charge the bandit, who kind of takes a step back, and whenever he does, the axe just comes down on him and splits him across the front, turns him around, and Matic hits him and knocks him to the ground.
Very nice.
As a point of order,
Mm-hmm.
you had mentioned that the difficulty of his next melee attack would be reduced by 1.
Oh, well.
Should we have
Yeah.
gained a momentum?
Yeah, get a momentum. Good call.
Nice.
All right. I'll yell back at Tahan. Are we finishing them off, or are we gonna let local authorities take care of these idiots?
Everyone deserves a second chance. That is literally one of my values.
I'm gonna shrug my shoulders and say, okay, as long as it doesn't come to green people.
Someone who's slightly green, Rochelle will take exception to that.
All right. So that's your guys' turn. You have injured and taken out 2 of the bandits. On the bandits' turn, this lovely fellow over here to the far left is going to proffer up a bow, knock an arrow, and fire at Nalan, since Nalan, you seem to be a prime target.
Okay.
So let's see how they roll. They do succeed on their ranged roll. So, and remember, reduce the this will be something you can reduce by your resistance.
Yep.
So they roll this many challenge die. Well, the good news is a bow doesn't have vicious, so it's only 4 damage.
Okay. So then would that be 3 because of resistance, or?
It should be, yes.
Okay.
So 3 stress.
Cool. All right.
So the arrow kind of flies through and pierces Nalan in the, we'll say the left pectoral, and you kind of look down and you're like, huh, that's a thing.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. And even though the holodeck safeties are on, it still hurts.
Mm-hmm. Like, not as bad as it would if the safeties are off, but I definitely feel it.
Oh yeah, you definitely feel it.
Okay.
And then we come back around to, I believe, Nalan and Rochelle, so whichever one of you wants to
Yeah.
go first.
Guess. I
If you
guess.
can't-
I'm sorry.
If you can't get to them, I think there's a cover action you can take.
Uh,
Or
there
guard.
is, yeah, I was gonna say there's guard.
That's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah, because I probably can't get to either of the other 2 from where I am, correct?
Oh, and then
Yeah,
and I also think the GM can give a certain amount of challenge dice in cover if you have like a thing that you're behind,
right.
and then you roll to add like a temporary kind of resistance.
Gotcha. So I could probably get to neither of them from here, right?
I would say you could move 30 as your
Right.
minor, and then you would then maybe take the guard action or hide behind a tree or
Right.
something like that.
Okay. Then I'm just going to move, like, right here, I guess? Yeah. And then I'll take the guard action.
Okay. So that's a difficulty 0 task.
Mhm.
I'm going to say that this would probably be an insight plus security.
Okay.
I just realized this is a great way to win momentum.
It is.
Insight. Security. I don't think any of my applicable focuses would apply here, so just...
Hey, look at that. You get 3 momentum.
Hey. There we go.
Up to 5. Very nice.
Yep. See, I said, you guys are fine. You've got momentum for days. All right. So that's it for Nalan. You more or less dive into the forest and hide behind the biggest tree you can find. Rochelle, it's up to you. What are you doing?
Sure. Well, sorry. How do I get the rangefinder?
The ruler that is below the spyglass.
Oh, okay. All right. Below the spyglass?
Yeah, it should be like the 5th button on the left side. It should be, at least I think it's 5th.
Mine's the 3rd from the top, or 4th from the top.
Yeah, there's probably a GM tool that I'm seeing.
Okay, I've got a gear and the spyglass, I think. Oh, okay.
No, left side of the screen. Left side of the screen where the map is.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, the one that looks like a comb. Gotcha. All right.
What does sprint allow you to do?
Sprint. Character attempts a difficulty 0 fitness plus security. Success means the character moves 1 additional zone.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, I guess.
All
But
right.
that would be your main task.
Yeah, that would be your main
Okay.
task.
Oh, all right. Never mind. Rochelle will just confidently stride to there, kind of swing his pike round idly, and
Okay.
he will look at this bandit and be like, "Buddy, you really want to drop your weapon and not proceed any further. This is not going to go well for you."
Let's make a roll out of that because that's some good stuff. Do me a reason plus command, or no, this would probably be better a presence plus command.
Could it be reason though?
Ah,
I would not allow that to be reason. That's
yeah, it's kind of on the cusp that I say presence would be the better attribute here.
Fortunately, this is not how I built Rochelle. All right, no applicable focus, and actually, can I spend a determination?
This would be at a difficulty of 3 because I'll spend some more threat. Why not?
Oh, jeez. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna use eager to prove himself as a determination. Spend
Okay.
that. To gain 2 automatic successes,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
and yeah, let's see if I can roll one more success. Probably not. This is a bad roll for me.
You can do it.
You did.
Hey.
Huzzah!
So, the bandit you're talking to kind of sees the writing on the wall, as it were, and I'm not going to do the voice of a scared little girl, but he drops his weapon, turns around, and since it is his turn next, is going to start sprinting away. So he's going to get, yeah, he'll get to the other side of the road into the forest. So yeah, and if I remember how rules work, since we're in a new round, the bandits go first again.
That is correct.
So the remaining bandit, the one with the bow, is going to look between Richaud and Milan, not really knowing who to shoot, and he'll opt for Richaud. So he succeeds quite handily. So Richaud, you are going to be taking a grand total of 4 damage reduced by that resistance.
All right, cool.
So I think that's let for you 2 stress.
That would be correct, sir.
Yeah, good stuff. All right,
that's really
and then we come back around to the player characters. Who would like to go first?
This is what, 2 of us go at a time, I think?
No, it's back
Not
to...
this round.
Oh, not this round. Okay, got it.
All right. I can't get to him.
I can, I think. Let me double check.
Yeah, you can get to him. No problem.
Yeah, just barely.
All right.
I'll run up and try to take a swing with my sword here. This probably won't. Because it's daring plus security.
Mm-hmm. Difficulty 1.
Alright. No applicable focus.
You want to add a die?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
So,
Go down to 4.
so yeah, daring plus security. 3 d20s. No focus.
Hey, good stuff. And let's see how the bandit
Yeah.
fares. The bandit succeeds, but again, since you are the active character, you win.
Okay.
So now you would roll 2 challenge die plus the security score, so 4 for you.
Yep.
All right, so that's a grand total of 4.
Ooh.
Would you like to reroll, or are you going to keep that?
Because how much momentum do we have right now? 4?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and spend a momentum to reroll the 2 zeros.
Okay.
Ah,
So another 2, which is just enough to cause the injury you need. So
Awesome.
how would Nalan like to do this?
seeing as how the others wanted to keep it alive, I'm just gonna hit him with the pommel of the sword just really hard.
Okay. You hitting him in the chest, in the head.
Yeah. Let's just go right in the temple.
Okay. All right. So you slam the pommel of your sword into the bandit's, I believe it's solar plexus.
Yeah, sure.
And he immediately just falls unconscious backwards onto himself. He falls literally into the tree that was behind him and just kind of crumples. He's still alive, but he is definitely unconscious.
Cool.
But yeah, tell you what, let's take a quick bathroom break before we deal with the possible interrogation scene. So be back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
All right, and I'm back. Oh, I hear Nalan.
Yep.
I'm here.
All right,
Sweet.
Alex here.
Right.
I'm back as well.
All right, welcome back. Rochelle, are you still here? All right, seems Rochelle is still missing. So we'll wait a little bit.
I think that means we can call it a comeback.
So yeah, that combat went a little bit better than I had originally expected.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the fact you guys more or less downed two of them right off the bat. That was pretty good rolls there.
Yeah, we got really fortunate with those rerolls.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a very powerful ability.
it really is.
But I mean, got to make the momentum do cool things.
Exactly.
I'm back.
All right, we're all back. All right, so we dropped right back in where we left. We will call this a new scene, so lose one momentum. So yeah, you have one totally unconscious bandit. You have two that are wounded on the ground, and then one that has run off like a little girl.
And as a new scene, everyone should regain back all their stress.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I was going to ask about that.
Mhm.
Since the holodeck safeties are in place, are we considering the damage you do to us to be lethal or non-lethal?
Definitely non-lethal.
So are you giving yourself threat every time you attack us then?
Non-lethal, not lethal.
Yeah, if the GM does non-lethal attacks, he gains stress. Or he gains a threat.
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's the opposite of if players do lethal attacks.
I had not.
I thought
been
they had
given-
to, but they also have to spend threat to do a lethal attack.
I don't believe so.
No, I think their default is lethal.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, if that's a rule, I'll certainly not say no to more threat. I will take the
All right.
additional
So
threat.
disengage the holodeck safeties. Is that what I'm?
Yeah, I think
It's
I.
fine.
I can confirm that that's the case, but I'm almost 100% sure that that is still the case.
I will roll with it for now. I think that means I get a grand total of 3 because they attacked 3 times. Nah, only the bandit attacked twice, so I only get 2 threat.
I propose that during the scene change, which was almost assuredly would have been a commercial break during an episode, that we have since tied up the bandits.
Okay, so we'll just all deposit them all right about here.
Alrighty.
So yeah, you've got 3 bandits, one of them who is knocked out cold, and they are currently tied up so that they can't go anywhere. I imagine you've bound both their legs and their arms, and they're kind of tied up in a circle, unless you wanted to do it differently.
I like circle. Would anyone like to be the point man on any interrogation?
I feel like that would fall into our counselor's wheelhouse.
Possibly. Alright, I guess so. Push me.
Don't worry, Rochelle will stand behind you and look intimidating.
Okay,
It
cool,
is.
cool.
Frilly sleeves and high boots and such.
And the banjo. Can't forget the banjo.
Can't forget the banjo.
Actually, Rochelle's going to be computer, ukulele, and the banjo's going to transform into a ukulele.
Oh no! So Han's like, oh no, I know what that is.
This is all
Oh,
Are there tulips around? Are we gonna go tiptoeing here in a minute?
There are no tulips, unfortunately.
I start to strum out some Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, God. It's one of those
Garfunkel
moments.
the notes.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where I wish I could play music, but between Twitch and YouTube, if I actually play music, I will get dinged for playing music. So
darn.
it'll be one of those things where unfortunately you've just got to imagine it in your head.
But if we sing it so far out of key that it's unrecognizable.
Oh God, please no.
This is right in my wheelhouse because I am
Nope.
terrible at singing.
I don't know. Can you really sing "Tiptoe Through the Tulips" out of key?
Ooh, it's a really good question.
Let's not find out.
Next time.
Next
I mean,
time.
Rochelle can certainly try to, but...
Oh, please no. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Lord.
Oh, no, we can't torture our prisoners. We're still Starfleet.
Darn.
I mean, you could. You are on the holodeck. I am just going to throw that out there. It's entirely up to you guys how you want to play it.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember. The guy we were going on this quest for, his name was Milan or something like that?
Malin, yeah.
Malin. And then what was his daughter's name?
Kylolia, and I'll spell that out. I probably should have done
Okay.
it earlier.
That'll help.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
T.
okay. Huh. Okay. So obviously, let's see here. Also, we don't know, I don't know which one was like the leader, because, yeah.
We'll say the one that had approached the captain originally, I'll mark with a purple circle.
Okay. Gotcha. So, oh, okay, there he is. Okay.
Purple circle.
Yes. So I'm just going to turn to who I'm assuming is like the leader of these bandits.
Mm-hmm.
So do you care to tell us what happened here? You know, obviously pointing out the wagon and the blood and all that.
He kind of spits to the side and he says, "You think I'm gonna talk? You might as well just kill me now."
I mean, it could be easier for us to do so, but we're kind of on a mission here. We're looking for the people that suppose we're inferring were with this wagon, and we're wondering if you have any idea where they went.
Oh, that's cute. You fancy yourselves adventurers.
Let's see here.
And as you kind of search for the next words, he adds, "We killed them all. Don't worry. You don't really have to look too far." And then he looks like a very confused hologram as he looks around for the tails and doesn't see any. So the program compensates for. See, you even recovered their tails already. Oh, that's cute.
And
But
where
don't
did you
worry.
take the bodies if they're dead?
We fed them to our OQ. But don't worry, the girly. Oh, our leader's got the girly back trussed up in our cave.
Would you mind telling us where that cave is?
And then his fellow bandit who's conscious like, "Shut the fuck up, John." And John's like, "Oh shit, I ain't telling you shit."
Could I try? I'm not sure how I could like try to intimidate him into telling us.
There's actually
but-
rules for this.
Oh, there is.
According to the book, it should be a presence plus security roll.
Okay.
They didn't give a difficulty, so I'm gonna say this is a difficulty of 3.
Oh, jeez.
I have an idea for an advantage.
Okay.
It would use all of our momentum, but I don't know if this is worth it. But what if we know that OQ are vegetarian?
I'll allow it. Let's have this happen.
Oh, Lord.
So the difficulty would only be 2, and you would know that fact. Tahan
Okay.
would either think that fact and you'd pick it up, or he would silently give you such information.
Okay. And so
Or
we
it's-
only have 2 momentum right now. Before
Yeah.
after that. Oh, jeez. Okay. So
So,
presence-
mechanically, I don't know if it's worth it, but
Right.
Go
I
for
don't
it. What could go wrong?
Yeah, we might as well.
do you have a
Can
determination you could use?
Do I have any what?
A
Determination.
determination that you could use.
I'm not 100% sure because I have like the only one that I can maybe use is I have most comfortable in the crowd, but I don't think that would work.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Oh, could it be possibly a mission directive?
I would say no because this is a holodeck episode, but good try.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Probably no focuses because I have composure, diplomacy, inspiration, team dynamics, galactic politics, and linguistics. So I'm going to assume no.
I mean, if you want to cloak galactic regs at him,
Wait, are you a joined trill?
I'm unjoined.
You're unjoined. I thought I thought Nelson was a joined trill.
I was originally going to play joint troll, but since I
Oh.
couldn't be there as often, yeah,
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. All right.
yeah, a little bit.
Joined is so good.
Yeah, he's playing Betazoid.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. Telepathy. I knew that. Huzzah.
So basically, what you're saying is I probably wouldn't have any applicable focuses then.
no, unfortunately, no.
Okay. Well, let's see how this goes. No.
Can I try to assist by threatening the light by like holding my axe up a little higher?
I believe that's still going to be presence plus security, but I'll allow you to assist. Yeah.
Cool.
I never realized presence would be so necessary. So I need to look that up real quick actually.
Well, if I'm assisting, he gets to re-roll one of his dice. If I get to
would,
roll
if
with
you assist
command.
and medic assists, the complication range does become 19 to 20.
Did he roll
What
a
did-
19?
I only rolled one success. So
I
we
mean, we
rolled.
could go ahead and do it. Say screw
Um,
it.
But if I can, if I assist with command, he gets to re-roll one of his dice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So before Matic comes up with his act, you want to act as the captain, kind of a thing.
Not necessarily. I'm just thinking out loud.
Ah. Well, let me know.
I'm fine with either of those ideas, so whatever you two decide to do.
Matt, what was your idea again, Matic?
I was just gonna walk up and hold my axe up, ready to like bring it down to like attack. I guess would be the best way to put it, or No, I'm actually going to the one that's talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna. What I want to do is I want to pull him away and kind of like throw him on his side and act like I'm about to chop his tail off
Oh.
with my axe.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
I'll give you a bonus momentum for that. Why not?
All right. If I'm assisting, I can't spend momentum to get dice, can I?
We don't have any momentum to spend at this point.
You just gave us
You
one.
just got one.
Oh, okay. But no, you still can
Okay.
roll more than one die as an assist.
I can't use my determination either. Oh well, fuck it. Roll.
Hey,
Ooh,
you
okay.
got the success you
There
needed.
we
So I
go.
think totally you guys are at one momentum. And Nalan, between you mentioning that Okyu are vegetarian and he's full of shit, and Matic dragging him off to the side and starting to make motions that he's going to cut off the tail, the band is going to go, "Wait, hold the fuck up, hold on. No, don't cut off my tail, please. For the love of just don't cut off my tail, please. Please, no. I'll tell you what you want to know.
Good. Then tell us.
What do you want to know?
Where's this little cave you're holding our friend in?
He points with his tail, since that's the only thing that's not tied up. He points into the forest to the west. He says, "It's back that way. You just go to the base of the mountains. You really can't miss it."
All right. Well, Captain, what do you propose we do with these three?
We leave them tied in the wagon to take them back into town, into custody.
That's a great idea, I guess.
And let's not forget to tie their tails this time.
True. Let's do that. All right.
All right, so you throw all three of them into the wagon, and I'll say, for sake of argument, you do a good enough job tying them up this time that they ain't going anywhere. But yeah, you do now have information regarding where your quarry may be.
All right.
Who used their determination in that scene?
I did.
Do you have a way to get
Or
it
I guess
back?
the previous one. Yeah, like
Or no, but you don't have veteran.
no.
Okay. I could give you mine if it comes to it.
Well, I mean, there might be an opportunity for me to
Gain it back.
create a complication by using one of my other values. So, not that we've done that yet, but why not? So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Plus, holodeck, who cares?
Yeah. Never onward, never learning.
Yeah. All right. So after you've trussed up the bandits and tied off your Okyu, I'm assuming you guys head west, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys walk through the forest, you, just in the very periphery of your vision, every once in a while you'll catch sight of some woodland creature. Kind of imagine the equivalent between a beaver and a squirrel. And there's like fantastical things like that running around. Like, they are very much fantastical alien creatures that are obviously native to the Serata homeworld, but are completely foreign to all of you. The good news is that even though the animals are making motions and making noise, none of them really seem to be interested in you guys. It's almost as if they're there for flavor for the holodeck program. But as you press forward, the sun does set properly, and you guys do indeed have to light torches to see onwards. And eventually you come to the base of the mountain. And sure enough, there is a cavern entrance there. There are two burning torches on either side of the entrance. And there are no visible guards, but you do see a total of 4 Okyu that are tied up to a nearby tree. The interior of the cavern, from where you're looking in, it's flickering with light, almost as if it's lit by a campfire to further inside the cavern. You can also hear the rowdy jeering of some Serato Draco inside. And I'm going to kick you guys onto this map a little bit early, but you'll get the idea.
Okay.
Is there a way we could tell how many? Like, can we distinguish? Oh, there's at least 3 voices or something like that, or is it just we hear some Serato dragon?
You hear some. It would be, I would say, it would be an insight plus security to guess, and even then, it might not give you an accurate number.
How long did it take us to get to here?
I'll say probably a good 30 minutes of walking.
I would assume by the fact that there are 4 Oki out here that there's 4 in here. But they could have been the ones we just faced.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's not a better place to fail than the holodeck. Okay, we head onward.
That's true.
All right. So, I'm assuming you guys are going in the cavern at this point.
Hmm. Do you want to try and take a stealthy approach, or what do we want to do here?
I could scout ahead.
So stealthy approach means I should put away the ukulele?
Maybe, Rochelle.
I'm sure you could use it as a melee weapon of some kind.
You could probably play battle music if we needed it.
Absolutely.
Now, would I be able to use my infiltration focus to stealth my way in?
I would say yes, you could do that, and it would affect your roll. I would say every 30 feet you go, you got to roll me a control plus con at a difficulty of 2.
Difficulty 2.
So I think let me pull up the ruler here. That'd get you there, and then it would basically be 2 checks.
I'll do the first one and then decide from there.
Okay.
So control con. How much momentum do we have?
I think just 1.
Okay. I won't use any. Yeah, I won't. Ooh,
Hey,
great.
look at that. All right, so go ahead and move your 30. And what you can do, which is something I learned recently, is if you have your token selected and you hold it, click or press the mouse button, or not the mouse button, the space button, and every time you reach a point you want to turn, hit space again, and it will do the distance for you automatically.
All right. Well, I've calculated 15, and then I'll do another 15.
Okay, that's the other way to do it, but
oops, didn't go. All right.
You got to have you're on the arrow tool. You can't move the token when you've got it on the arrow tool.
I was on the ruler tool.
Or the ruler tool, yeah. You got to go back to the regular arrow. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Now it's not giving me distances.
Yeah.
So, I don't know this
The
program.
space bar.
Yeah, so hold your token with the
Okay,
left mouse.
that's 17 and a half.
Yeah.
Let's do 20, and then... Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Right, that's 30.
There you go. All right, so you sneak on forward, and the voices are getting a little bit more clear, but you still would have to get another 30 to round the bend and see what the hell's going on.
Okay, they're pretty loud, right?
Yeah, they're pretty loud.
All right, I'll wave these guys ahead.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll say you guys can get up to about here. As long as you don't go past this line, I
Okay.
won't have you roll stealth checks.
All right. I'll try again. So control con, right?
Mm-hmm. Still difficulty 2. And remember,
Alright.
you do have the applicable focus.
Okay. No, I don't want to use. If I get caught, then the combat just starts, and I'd rather use the momentum then. Oh, that's bad.
That is
no.
a complication.
Do I have a great value for this? I don't.
All right. So
Other than the everyone deserves a second chance, including myself.
no.
Guys, I fucked up my stealth check. Just give me another chance.
Shh, I'm not here. I'm not here.
So I guess I should choose my location first.
Yeah, go to where you would normally be, and then we'll resolve the complication.
Computer rewind program.
You could if you really wanted to.
No, I'm not going to do that.
All right. So let me
Hey,
adjust
hey
the
everyone.
map a little bit so you can see. So what Tahan sees is as I quickly change maps. There we go. So you round the bend and are greeted with the sight of 5 Soretta Draco, 3 male and 2 female. One of them is Kailoya. She's tied up against the rock face farthest away from you, and is the subject of much leering and verbal prodding on the part of her captors. She has several large bruises and other such injuries that would be consistent with having been restrained and possibly plugged for information for several days. The other individual that stands out to you is a raven-haired woman. She has a stark yellow right eye, while her left is covered by a rather fanciful eye patch. Her horns and scales are of a deep purple color. She also is wearing a full set of plate armor and has a sword that's fairly similar in size and make to the one Adros was swinging around earlier. And the complication is, as you round the bend, Captain, you trip over a small stalagmite and crash onto the ground. And everyone, just the talking stops and everyone looks in your direction.
This is really embarrassing. Trills grew up underground for eons. Ugh. I get myself and dust myself off before I realize I've spotted.
Yeah, so the 3 bandits kind of look to the raven-haired woman, and she says, "All right, well, the rest of you might as well come out. You kind of screwed up there, buddy."
Yeah, I have people with me. I definitely have reinforcements. I'm so glad that I have reinforcements. I draw out my sword.
Yeah. So you all
And
can,
I run up near him, so I'll just be there.
Yeah, go ahead and move your tokens.
I wasn't lying.
Yeah, once everyone's moved up or hanging back, then I'll keep flavor texting.
Do we only move to 30 or can we move?
Nah, you can move up to wherever you'd like. All right. So as the three of you, the other 3 round the bend and now see what's happening, Saroon, the woman in plate armor, just kind of starts slow clapping, which is kind of a clanging sound because she's wearing the full plate. So I don't really have a noise to replicate it, but it's very stark and very sarcastic. And she says, "Ah, well done. You did such a good job sneaking your way in here. Now, let's get to business, shall we?" And she kind of leans in across the fire, and she says, "So, I'm guessing you're here for my little captor here, or my little captive here. And I'm just curious, what do you know about her?"
She's a priestess of
Not
Umahab.
Bahamut backwards.
Not Bahamut backwards.
Bahamut backwards, that's what it is.
Umahab.
If we're getting paid to rescue her, I wasn't paying attention. That's all I need to know, though.
And Nalan, Tahan, do you have anything to add?
No, they covered it.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So the woman just kind of laughs in a very deep way, and she says, "Oh, so then you don't know that she's the illegitimate daughter of the queen that fancies herself on the throne of Vel Storm, then?"
Don't know, didn't know, don't care.
None of that means anything to me. I'm sorry.
She kind of narrows her
We're just here to
eye.
take her back.
Yeah, she just kind of narrows her eye at you like she expected a lot more of a response. She says, "Maybe I wasn't clear. I would much rather cut her own head off, or cut her head off, than turn her over to the likes of you."
I think you underestimate how much you would get in ransom for her alive.
"Are you willing to pay said ransom?"
How much do you want?
She lists off a sum that is egregiously large, to the point where you would either have to cheat and have the holodeck replicate it for you, or you would have to basically go raid all of the coffers of Vel Storm to pay for it.
I mean, I figured letting you out of here alive would be a good enough ransom, but okay.
She again just kind of stares at you like you're an idiot and says, "Maybe I am not making myself clear here." And she stands up from her seated position, and she is freaking huge. Like, I believe I said Hylong was like 6'8". She's a full 7'2". She's big. And she motions for her bandits to get ready, and each of them pulls out a bow. And they don't knock an arrow and point it into your direction, but they look like they're about ready to. And the woman continues to say, "I believe we can come to an arrangement here.
Don't worry,
If-
Captain. You got this. Rishol. Pat. On the back.
Yeah.
I believe the first option is rather obvious. We kill you and are done with it. But I figure we've already killed enough people today that, or we've killed enough people in the last week that we don't need to resort to such bloodshed. Tell you what, you throw down your weapons, throw down all the gold you have, and all the rest of your equipment, and then run out of here like screaming little girls, and I'll let you live."
I don't suppose you would accept an honor duel.
Her eye kind of widens a little bit and says, "You wish to invoke the right of combat? With me?"
No, but if I have to, I will.
She laughs again very heartily. She says, "In one-on-one combat, there is absolutely no way you would beat me. So you know what? Let's do it this way." And she points her big old sword across the fire, and the blade is licked by the flame. She says, "I will enact the right of combat on you. Step forward and let's see who has the best metal."
Oh, jeez.
So
This is not going to go well.
yeah. So
Captain, if you want, I'll be happy to take this hit for you.
so
You would intercede on my behalf?
Yeah, I can. Assuming the rules for honorable combat allow that, I'd be happy to
yeah. So
meet your challenger.
Yeah, so on that matter, you can name a representative instead of yourself, but it is obviously seen as kind of a coward's cop-out more often than not. Unless, like, you can't have a king dueling a king, it would be their champions, and that would be acceptable. But you could name someone to fight in your steed, Tom.
Could I possibly try something?
All right, run it by me.
I essentially want to step forward and try to talk them down if I can.
Okay.
And if I could, I want to try and use one of my determination on the roll, which is the price of peace is vigilance, if that would apply.
It would.
Okay.
Here's what I'm going to do, though.
Yeah.
If you want to try to do that, that's going to be a reason
Okay.
plus I'm going to say command.
Okay.
And the difficulty would be 4, because I'm going to dump all my threat into this.
Okay. How many momentum do we have, if any?
We have 1, but do you have the diffuse the tension talent?
I do.
Aha!
And do you think diplomacy would be an applicable focus here?
It would?
All right, let's see here. Phew. It's going to be tough.
Well, the good news
So
is if you spend the determination, you're already at 2 successes.
Yeah.
And then your talent gives you a bonus die.
And then the applicable focus will make the critical range bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have enough momentum to buy you the second die.
That's true. But I'll have
Good
3
threat.
die anyway,
Yeah, and you already have 2 successes. Oh,
right?
can we do 1 momentum, 1 threat?
No, it would have to be 2 threat.
2 threat. Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess I'll step forward
Okay.
and just say, like you said, we don't need bloodshed here. For all you know, we could have more men outside. So, why don't you just give us the girl and we'll leave? Simple as that. We took out your friends that were in the forest earlier. I'm sure we could do the same for you.
All right, go ahead and make your roll.
All right, so already 2 successes. So you said reason plus command?
I would think so, yeah, unless you have a better argument for a different discipline.
No, I think command's probably the best one for this situation. So I'll have 3 d20s.
Would it not be presence as opposed to reason?
And
or
my
insight?
presence and reason are the same.
Yeah,
so, I
for
mean,
him it doesn't matter.
and an applicable focus.
Wow.
Bam.
So that's
That's
how
5
many?
successes, I think. Wait, no, 6?
So that's 4, and then you had 2 from your determination, so that's 6. So you get 2
So
momentum. So the woman, who I think I mentioned before, she's Saroon, so I'm just going to call her
Yeah.
Saroon. Saroon seems a little bit taken aback, and she says, "This is true. I don't know how many men you have outside, and if you were able to defeat my boys that were watching the wagon, well, what do you propose? That I just give you the girl and let you walk away, and I'm supposed to expect that there will be no ill harm to me and my fellows?"
Yes. It's simple as that, like you did to us.
She's gonna think on this for a good minute, and the tension in the room builds. And
Like you could cut it with a knife kind of big.
oh, even like a sword if you have
Phew.
one. And although the bandits don't really act aggressive, you can see that the tension's starting to get to them. They're starting to get a little bit twitchy. And right about the point where things might start happening, Saroon finally says, "I'll agree on one condition."
And what is that?
Well, I still want at least partially an honor duel. Since you're lovely, and she stares at Tahan, leader said that he would like one.
I'm trying to remember the telepath talent that I have. Can they communicate back? I'm trying to remember.
Let's look it up.
I'm trying to find it right now. 'Cause I have the PDF, so I kind of have to scroll.
105. Telepath. You can sense the surface thoughts and emotions of most living beings nearby, and can communicate telepathically with other empaths and telepaths, as well as those with whom you are extremely familiar. Surface thoughts are whatever a creature is thinking about at the precise moment. The character can choose not to sense the emotions or read surface thoughts of those nearby. Blah, 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 blah. It will require a task to pick someone out in a crowd, search your mind for specific thoughts, or block out minds nearby. I'm going to say, but because because the captain is not a telepath,
Right.
he's not going to be able to respond in kind.
Okay.
Unless you can figure out a really creative
Well-
way to do it.
Well, even though it says like as well as those with whom you're extremely familiar,
Hmm.
would I be
Yeah,
extremely
but-
familiar with the captain or not really?
I would say
Well-
not yet.
Because
Okay.
that's like Riker Troy.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's only been about a month and a few weeks that you've been with this crew.
Right. I guess I'll just like turn and say to him, "You sure you want to fight her still?"
If that is the price, it is what honor demands.
That's fair. And then I step
I just-
back.
And assuming you're reading my thoughts, like, and I don't have to win.
Yeah. And I like will say to him telepathically, like, of course. And I just step back.
All right. So, Todd, take up your position. All right. So, I think it's pretty obvious here that this is going to come down to a series of opposed daring plus security rolls.
Mm-hmm. Do I
Basic-
still get Richaud's the benefit of Richaud's talent?
only
No, it
for-
wouldn't work because it's one-on-one.
But if
Wouldn't
Rousseau
matter.
would like to play some battle music with his
Absolutely.
ukulele,
Ah, yes.
Computer, electric guitar.
do you want an amp too?
Absolutely.
All
No,
right.
just the guitar.
So you get a electric guitar and an amp, and how far do you want to dial that thing up?
Oh, to 11.
It goes to 12, but sure.
What? How do the Serrato Dracos react to the sudden appearance of an electric guitar in their cave?
Well, again, this is a very well-designed program. They don't really seem to care.
All right, good stuff.
So yeah, I'm now in my head. I'm imagining like the Halo dun 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 on the electric guitar. But Rousseau, you can flavor it however you'd like.
Hey, just some early Metallica, I think, should be sufficient.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
I will say, Captain, with the inspiring music from Rousseau, I'm going to say that your combined score, so like your daring plus security, it's now a +1. So whatever your score is that you'd have to roll under, it's now a +1.
All right. Just for that, then I'll be rolling control security then, just to make the math work.
Okay.
Do I get the first attack?
Yeah, you would indeed.
Okay, I will do that. I'm not gonna use any momentum yet
Okay.
because it's just a contested roll, right?
Yes.
She probably has a focus though. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, so a grand total of you
One
rolled a
success.
19. Yeah. Okay. And she rolls 2.
Okay.
So let me make sure.
I was the attacker, so I think that just means I don't damage her.
Let's
No,
see.
she gets to damage you.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
great.
active character fails, reactive character succeeds. The active character fails to achieve their goal, and the reactive character's task is resolved. So yeah, she gets to more or less hit you.
Okay.
So her sword does a whopping 6 challenge die worth of. Oh god. Captain, I think you're
Jesus.
down.
Well, I've got 1 resistance, so that's down to 5, and I can try to avoid an injury.
Okay. That would be what, 2 momentum? Or is it 1 momentum?
Avoid injury. Avoid injury is 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably worth it. Oh, though she's gonna get the attack next. Can I use my determination to avoid an injury?
If you give me a good value.
What's important is how we've lived.
I mean, technically it's the holodeck and you're going to live anyway, but I'll allow it.
Well, like
We got to get immersed in our role playing, man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm allowing it.
all right.
Oh, should I not be generating all sorts of instruments and snarking at people? Sorry, my bad.
No, that's fine. Okay, yeah, I'll do that then.
Okay.
I've
So
used my determination.
in that case, you avoid the injury, but
you
you
still
will,
take 5 stress.
yeah, you'll take 5 stress. So what she does is she comes across in a manner that's eerily similar to Adros. And it's one of those like early day kind of things where her strike, it's a feint at first. So she comes in with a feint and swings at you and you go to block it, but then at the last second, she turns her blade and smacks the side of your head with the flat of her blade. And your head is just ringing as you reel from the hit. And she just kind of laughs once again. She says, "Really? You wanted to honor duel me, and this is what you had to offer?" I'm starting to rethink whether or not I should be letting your friend here go.
So I just realized I probably would have used the aim minor action before the last one,
Ooh.
but I forgot to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, at this point, we've already resolved her attack, so...
Right. I will not forget the next one.
But I'll be nice and say that she's more or less just going to have a come-at-me-bro stance.
Okay. In that case, I will use aim, and I will spend a momentum for a 3rd die.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost track. How much momentum are we at?
2 now.
2.
Is there a way that I could move up to make sure the bandits don't try to interfere with this fight?
Oh, jeez.
I would
Alright, I get to
say,
reroll 1.
Yeah, I was say. So as the captain rules, I would say, Matic, you can't really approach the area of the honor duel without violating code, and then the bandits would definitely hop in. So it's one of those things where the bandits are more or less just watching to see what's happening.
Okay, so that was 2 successes.
Okay. So unfortunately not, Matic. You're kind of just hoping that whatever honor these bandits have, that they won't interrupt. Wow. So you have 2 successes. She has 2. So you succeed.
Alright, so 5 challenge dice. I imagine I'm going to want to use momentum to get rid of her resistance. But we'll see.
Wow.
Nice.
I will use a momentum to get rid of some resistance. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3,
let's
4,
see.
5, 6, 7, 8. Because I'm using the sword.
Yeah.
So you'd use a momentum for penetration, I think?
It reduces it by 2 for each momentum. I don't know if I'll need it, but I'll use it.
She is wearing plate mail.
Yeah, she is
So
wearing
that's
plate.
3.
Yeah, she.
So-
I'll just say out of character. You guys could probably figure out that she has a total of 4 resistance right now.
Okay, I'll go ahead and use the 1 momentum then.
Okay, so it'll ignore
So-
2.
So she'll still resist 1, but take 7.
Yeah, which is an injury. So, Tahan, since this is quote unquote the big bad evil guy of the adventure, how would you like to do this?
Yeah.
Whatever the sword motion that the rest of the party saw Adro, that's the one I'm using here.
Okay.
And like maybe they recognize it, maybe they don't. But the viewers at home, you recognize it.
So, I don't know if any of you guys played the recent Lord of the Rings game, Shadow of Mordor and the one behind it. There's a specific move that I have in mind where the character does a quick flurry of blows in quick succession, and it's kind of an upward slash, then a straight lateral down, a straight vertical down slash. He kind of makes like an X and then covers the 2 ends with some additional slashes. So, Tahan, you come up and you begin wailing into her. And even with the plate armor, your sword, it almost burns with a righteous fury as Risho's music hits a crescendo. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you not only carve off her breastplate, but you leave a nasty gash across her abdomen. And it even cuts into the scales, is how well you were able to lay into this woman. And Saroon kind of goes, "Ugh, ugh," and clutches her wound, and all of the bandits around her go, and for all intents and purposes, Tahan, you have technically won the honor duel.
All right.
But I will also say you've injured her, so the honor duel doesn't necessarily say you have to do one thing or another.
I mean, she falls unconscious, right? That's part of the
Oh
injury.
no. It's just that she is technically out of the fight. So
Okay.
for until the next scene. So you could do conceivably whatever you wanted with her.
Um, I'll keep my sword pointed at her neck
Mm-hmm.
while the rest of the party goes to get Siloya.
Kailoya, but close enough.
Kailoya, sorry.
All right. So Tahan calls for the rest of the party to go ahead and get Kailoya.
Medic, could you help me?
With what exactly, Captain?
We're gonna take Saroon back with us,
All right.
Okay.
and I'll look at the other three bandits and best figure out a better way to lead your lives.
They just look kind of sheepish at this point. They are a little amazed at seeing their leader get taken down so amazingly. So they're just kind of very much hoping you decide not to do anything with them. But let's resolve Nilan and Rochelle, then we'll come to Matic and Tahan, and we'll see how well you restrain her. So Nilan and Rochelle, you go up to Kailoya, and it's a very quick slash of your weapons to get her down. And once her hands are free, she kind of rubs her wrists and says, "Oh, thank you so much. I think it would be best if you took me back to my father at this point. But," and she points to the two chests on either side of her.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly which chest, but one of them is one that the bandits took from our carriage. It contains a bit of a holy artifact that should be returned to the temple.
So you don't know which one of them.
No,
Well,
unfortunately.
It's fair.
How about we take both of them, and one of them is asshole tax?
All right, then I'm fine with that.
All right. So, Nilan and Rochelle, you each go for a chest, and I'll say you're able to carry it, no problem. I will say that both are pretty heavy, though. So, if you wanted to run, there would be a check, but I don't know how much.
If we're
running you would
walking,
be
it's
able to do.
fine.
Yeah, if you're walking, or if you put it on your OQ, you should be fine.
Okay,
Right.
is Kailoya able to walk without assistance? Like, what's her situation like?
She's a little bit shaky, but she seems like she's going to be able to walk, no problem.
Okay.
And now for Tahan and Matic. So normally I'd have you roll a fitness plus security to restrain her, but I'm going to say, for sake of argument, if you want to disarm her and then tie her up, you can certainly do so.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. I'm also going to try to do like very simple medicine on her just to kind of keep with the immersion and kind of just show of good faith kind of thing, I guess.
Okay. It is a very honorable thing to heal your opponent. I'd say this would be, I guess, a control or daring plus medicine.
I'll go with control.
Let's do control.
One of my focuses is emergency medicine. Would that apply?
I'll allow it.
All right. Hey.
Wow, very good. So you guys get even a momentum back. So, as Tahan is tying her up, you treat her wound, and she says, "Your supplies are wasted on me. I know exactly what they're going to do to me once we get back to town."
Do I know what
As
that is?
Tahan, you would know that one of two things is probably going to happen. Either one, they're going to chop off her tail as a point of honor and then throw her in jail for a couple years, or they're going to more or less cut off her horns and still throw her in jail for a little bit.
Is that worse?
I would say the tail one is definitely worse. The horns are kind of it's still a dishonor, but you don't grow horns back, kind of a thing.
Hmm.
And it's one of those things where someone looking at you would immediately know. Like, they will do some sort of, like, ritualistic or special way that they cut off the horns so that there's enough left over that anyone who looks at you would know that this occurred because you fucked up, kind of a thing.
Yeah. That's what happens when you steal people, when you kidnap.
All right. So I'm going to just kick us back over to this map as we do a quote-unquote conclusion of the holodeck episode, but then we'll do some stuff afterwards. So, oh, go ahead.
I wanted to ask her real quick where the other 3 bodies were, or the 4 bodies were.
We burned them.
Huh? Oh.
But yeah. Unless anyone has anything else, in which case feel free to interrupt. At this point, you guys are able to return with Saroon in tow, and with Kailoya and the 2 chests. You're able to return to the wagon, and all your OQ are still around, so you're able to more or less wrangle Maddox into pulling the wagon along. And with your 4 captives in tow, you head back to Vel Storm. And by the time you arrive in Vel Storm, it is probably around 11 or midnight at night. And even at this late hour, there are still some city guard that are, manning the road, kind of a thing. And as you approach, one of them kind of calls out, says, "Hail, traveler, what is your purpose?"
We were returning with criminals in tow. 4 bandits.
The 2 guards kind of look at one another, and the one who shouted to says, "Very good. Should I rouse anyone at the castle?"
Yes, I suppose some guards would deliver them to the prison, and we need to return our OQ to their owners.
Very good. You would also know, as just kind of a point of order, that Lord Adros also maintains a rather modest room in the castle.
Oh, okay. Lord Adros, if you can summon him.
Very good. John, or not John, because I already used John. Jerry, go off and get him. And Jerry runs off. And pretty much within the next 15 minutes, you have been able to return your OQ. You have been able to come to the castle gates with your prisoners still in tow. And Kailoya has obviously gone to the night's rest, and she'll say that she will tell her father of what you did. But as you approach the castle Vel Storm with your prisoners, out from the castle comes probably about 6 or 7 guards along with Lord Adros. And Lord Adros kind of comes right up to Tahan and places a very fatherly hand on his shoulder and says, "You've done well, my pupil. I see that not only have you been able to rescue the daughter of our fair queen, but have also managed to bring back the culprit more or less unharmed and ready to stand trial. I believe..." And he almost kind of tears up a little bit at this, but it's really hard to tell with Serrato Draco. I believe that you are a capable leader and able warrior. At this point, I don't think there's any more that I'll be able to teach you.
Thank you, but I, of course, could not have done it without Richaud's inspiration, Maddox's honor, and Neelan's diplomacy.
And he nods a respective, almost like a half bow even, to each of the 3 of you. And he says, "Very well. Guards, see that these 4 are taken to the brig, and we will deal with them in the morning. And, unless you specifically stop them, the guards will take the prisoners and lead them off to the prisons."
Okay, so it's a known secret that Kailoya was the queen's daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Illegitimate, but still her daughter.
Sure.
So it's right about this moment, and I've been thinking about how to do this the entire session. It's right about this moment that there's a kind of polite ahem from behind you.
I turn around.
All right, as you guys turn around, your best buddy, Chief Hylong, is kind of sitting there, arms crossed, and just kind of like head tilted to the side and says, "Well, I see I got here a little bit too late. All the fun's done."
We can go start a fight in a tavern.
Yeah, I'll just raise an eyebrow. There's always another adventure.
Indeed, indeed. But, Captain, if I may speak frankly, you could have just asked to use my program. You didn't need to copy it. I just find it amusing, that's all.
Well, it was only so I wouldn't interfere with any progression you made in your version of the some half lie.
She'll laugh and, she'll see through it and she says, "Oh, don't worry. I completely appreciate your efforts in order to learn my culture. And hey, maybe one day you can actually use the sword in the real world to much effect."
I'll stay with a phaser for now, but maybe one day.
Very good. And then unless any of you stop Hylong, she will turn and say, "Computer, Arch." And she'll walk on out. But yeah, what you guys do at this point is up to you. This is where we reach the end of the session where we do the "what does everybody do with their time" section of the RP. So I guess the first operative question is, do you guys remain on the holodeck, or do you go back to doing your own separate things?
Well, after this adventure, I think Nalan's going to be super into what happened after all. So I'm going to find, like, the nearest tavern and actually get a drink, even if it's fake, basically.
Okay.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Okay. Rochelle, Maddox?
Rochelle is gonna, after Hylong commented, he's gonna realize that he was kind of being dismissive of her entire culture and be a bit embarrassed about being an asshole. And I'll turn to the captain. Captain, unless you have any further need of me, I think I'm gonna actually call it here for myself.
Of course. Enjoy your free time how you see fit, and thanks again for indulging me.
I thank you for bringing me along. I appreciate your trust, sir. And so he will summon the Ark himself, leave, change, go check in the bridge, make sure that nothing dire has happened while they're stuck on the in the holodeck, which I'm assuming it hasn't.
Well, I'll get to you in a moment.
Okay.
So I'm assuming, Maddox, you are gonna join the guys at the tavern.
I'm just gonna walk over to the Arch and hit the call button. Alon, it's Maddox.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
The repairs that were underway, what's the status on them?
They're completely finished, sir.
Anything else on the docket for the day?
Well, I should report that in the crew's mess, one of the replicators got stuck making damned ractogenos again, but other than that, everything's shipshape.
What have I told you about something about ractogenkos?
Look, okay, sir, I'll get someone on it.
Please do. Thank you. Maddox out. And then I'm just gonna I'll walk back over to the captain and just say Rector and just walk off.
Alright, so I'll say that the three of you, minus Rochelle, are going to spend however long you like. And I'll say, because it's never really clear, because in Voyager sometimes the liquor's real and sometimes it's not. I'll say that you can achieve whatever buzz or high off of the liquor you want.
Well, the way Synthahol works is it gets you drunk until you need to like shake it off, and then you can just shake it off.
Yeah. Something
so-
to that effect. Yeah, it's not going to replicate like Sorry and Brandy for you, but it'll, as Rasho has just said, it'll get you about the level of drunk that you can shake it off and do real things as needed.
Okay.
And the benefit of you guys going to the nearest tavern, which happens to be the Knight's Rest, is that Malin, the barkeep and owner, is going to have you all regale at the packed bar with tales of your valor.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If only we had a bard to tell this for us.
Our bard, unfortunately, is gone.
Oh, poor
All we
boy.
have left is the barbarian, the paladin, and I guess Neelan would be the cleric,
I guess, maybe.
or
Mhm.
maybe the warlock.
Or the Scion.
Psionicist.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, I could be the really overpowered mystic from Unearthed Arcana.
Oh Lord, please no.
Is it that bad? I've
Yeah,
never looked into it.
It's really overpowered.
Oh, that's fun.
Like, I like it, but it needs a lot of tweaking for it to be balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Is it still in playtesting, or is it official UA now?
It's still playtesting. Because I think the only official Unearthed Arcana is the Revised Ranger, I think.
and
Artificer.
Artificer
Artificer.
too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then we're getting a bunch of stuff that'll be official in Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
And that's next month or something?
Yeah.
Mhm. Anyway, before we get into too much D&D talk,
That's what the stream says we're playing.
yeah,
So technically,
yeah.
I want to get into a drinking contest.
Okay. Do you want to do it against your fellow crew or against one of the holodeck characters?
Bar wide.
Bar wide.
oh
Okay.
jeez.
Here's the thing about trills. Oh, we it's hard to get us drunk.
Let's see. I'm just gonna have you roll, and this would be a new scene for sake of momentum. I would say if you want to get into a drinking contest, in order to win said drinking contest,
Oh jeez.
you're going to have to roll me a fitness plus medicine
Oh God,
at a
God.
difficulty of 3.
no, that's
Okay.
That is literally my worst roll.
Can
Oh,
I spend my determination? Nothing better than practical experience.
You know what? Sure, I'll let it happen.
This one's actually literally impossible for me unless I roll 2 ones.
Hey,
Oh.
stranger things have happened.
So it's fitness and medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh jeez, this is going to be terrible.
Oh no.
My
guys
DC's
see that?
9 for that.
Lord.
4 successes.
Yeah, so Maddox
Mine is
got
also
4
9.
successes.
I'm gonna assume that composure won't work here.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Cultural studies.
No.
Oh,
Come on, double ones. No,
Oh,
not even close.
yeah.
18 and 19.
So Maddox drinks all of you under the table. Like, it's embarrassing how well he does. Like, even the biggest, burliest, like, heavy drinker Serato Draco in the place is like, no, man, I can't have any more. No, please, no. Meanwhile, Maddox
Jesus.
just sitting there like, yeah, look at me, I've drunk all of this. There's like 6 or 7 or maybe like 8 or 9 like tankards, like big old tankards on the bar.
jeez.
It's impressive.
We're out of tankards. Computer, make more tankards. Whoa, these tankards just appear out of nowhere.
Whoa.
Jesus.
What is he?
I think we're
is he
done,
Vulcan?
Captain.
Oh, I'm done.
I'm done. I'm just.
Ugh.
Oh,
Computer Arch. Oh no.
I'm gonna do the same.
all right, so you guys stumble out, and Maddox maybe takes a couple, spends a little bit longer in the holodeck enjoying the spoils. So let's turn to Rochelle, and then we'll go up and down the list to see what everybody does after the holodeck adventure. So Rochelle, luckily nothing is on fire, best you can tell. Ujesa reports that a standard communique came in from Starfleet, specifically Admiral Haru, for the captain, but best she could tell, it was just more or less a status update kind of thing. She was just kind of looking to you like, should I just go ahead and reply that it's all clear and nothing new to report, or should we actually wait for the captain?
I guess wait for the captain.
Very good.
Show's gonna be very concerned why the sergeant is asking him what to do, seeing as she's second in command.
Well, it's kind of because you're a player character, and and
being
again,
a real person has privileges.
yeah, it's also one of those things where, as a Klingon officer, she can definitely act as a a second in command in certain situations, but for the more Starfleet things like routine communications and bookkeeping, that's not really her thing. But yeah, do you? So, kind of as a an open question, is there anything you'd like to do with your time?
Rochelle was just going to do, after he makes sure everything's good and talks to you, Jasa. I guess his official response would be to, wait till the captain's done with his holodeck session and ask how he would like to proceed. If he wants her to respond herself, or then if she doesn't have anything else she needs from him,
Nope.
he's going to go to his quarters and replicate himself a lute. And start to maybe practice with that a little bit.
Okay. Let's handle Nalan, then we'll go back at the list. So Nalan, after your holodeck adventure has happened, is there anything Nalan as a character wants to do on ship?
Do I still have kind of a buzz after I come back off the arch? Not really.
This could be either several hours after the fact or right away. It's really up to you.
Oh, okay. Well, after that exciting adventure, which he never experienced those worlds before, he's going to basically look up any resource he can find that can teach him about either Serrato Draco culture and basically medieval times in particular.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, there's certainly a volume of information about them.
Awesome.
Anything else?
After hearing Rochelle's music skills, I might replicate myself maybe a ukulele and find Rochelle and maybe get some lessons from him.
All right. So, Rochelle, there's a beep at your door.
Enter.
On the other side is Nalan.
I'm holding a ukulele.
Then what can I do for you?
Can you teach me?
I can try. I mean, it's been years since I can try, certainly. I can show you the basics to start with, at least.
All right.
After that, you might need to find a holodeck program to carry you through.
All right.
Yeah, Rochelle will take the ukulele and start to show him the basics, finger positioning and such. I don't play any instruments myself. I have no idea how it works.
No, you're doing all right so far. So, for sake of argument, I'll say that, and I'll note this. Just remind me as I'm doing my notes after we cut stream. We'll say that you get a few basic lessons from Rochelle.
Okay.
And then we're gonna move to Matic. Matic, I do have one question before we start with whatever you're doing. How long do you stay in that holodeck?
How does time travel in it compare to like the outside of it? I guess is it like 1-to-1, or is there an accelerated time?
It's definitely 1-to-1, unless you tell the computer to accelerate the program.
I probably won't notice the captain and Nalan leave, but I'll probably just stay in for a little bit longer. They just kind of look around and be like, "Oh, hey, they're gone. Oh well, fuck it," and then leave. And then so maybe an hour or two later.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back to my quarters and get back to trying to work on the device.
Okay, roll me a daring plus engineering on this one. Difficulty 2.
Quantum mechanics applicable?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that. So, you fire up the device. So far you've been able to get the device assembled. You just haven't really figured out what to use it for. But as you fire up the device this time, one of the nearby tricorders on your desk kind of beeps. And you pick up the tricorder and look at it, and it's very odd. It's almost like you're getting readings from several seconds into the future.
Okay. I send the data to Hai Long and ask her to come visit whenever she gets off her duty shift.
So
To see
literally
if
like
we could-
5 minutes later, there's a doo 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 at your door.
Enter.
So Hylon comes right on in and rushes over to the device. And he says, all right, show me what it did.
I pick it up and press the big red button again.
All right, so her eyes kind of widen as the tricorder starts reading stuff from the future again. She says, you know, I had a hunch that it might be something like this. I don't know if we could integrate it with the ship systems at large, but this is some very useful technology.
I mean, what scale do you think that we could get this working on?
So her face kind of screws up a little bit as she thinks about this. And she says, on a ship like the Nova, like the Arcadia, we need maybe about a week in dry dock to implement it ship-wide, but I think for now we could probably rig up a tricorder or two with a similar device or a mechanism.
I mean, could we try to implement it through like medical facilities? Maybe we go talk to Dore and see if is Dore like Phlox,
Yeah,
where he
he's
has
the
like
noble
a
one.
million pets?
Yeah, he
Okay.
well, so far you've seen his eagle owl thing, but whether or not he's got more than that, you don't know.
Okay. Maybe Dure can find a medical application for this. You know, if we're able to speed up. You know, right now we're only getting 5 to 10 seconds in the future. If we're able to stop someone from who may have burnt themselves, or if we're able to somehow do like minor injuries and speed up the healing process.
Or maybe stopping a heart attack from happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. Yeah, that's applicable. You think we should finally bring the captain in on this, or?
She frowns a little bit and says, honestly, I'm surprised Richaud hasn't found out the chronotons on the sensors so far, but it's your call, sir. You are the ranking officer here.
I feel like now that we have something tangible, the captain at least knows what we're doing.
I do?
No, like, you know that we've been working on a device. You just don't know what it is.
I think you're dating.
Oh, we're gonna RP that. We're gonna do that now.
An interspecies exchange program, I believe, as our GM
that-
quoted a few sessions ago.
Oh,
That's what I think y'all are doing.
So, okay, then we'll go with that.
I even told you to go see Nealon.
Let's just go see him, and we can see what he says.
right away. All right, so we'll do that RP in a second, but before we get to that, I did want to give the captain a chance to respond to Admiral Haru, and then to do a quick little something of his own.
Well, the first thing I was going to do after the holosuit was just, take a shower, get back into my normal duty clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and then, start my walk about the ship on the bridge.
Okay. As soon as you walk into the brig, Ujesa kind of turns. Well, not really turns because she's sitting in the big chair. She looks over to you and says, Captain, good to see you. You're not due on shift for another 4 hours.
Just walking. What's your report? What's your status?
Everything's quiet as usual. Astrometrics reports that a system coming up would be of great interest. But other than that, the only other message or thing of note would be a message from Admiral Haru asking for a status update.
All right. I will take that in my office,
Of course.
and I'll head down.
Okay. So it's up to you whether or not you want to actually like reply with a vid call status update or if you want to send a text one. You would know that either would be suitable in this instance.
For the sake of roleplay, let's do a video call.
Okay. So secure channel or no?
I don't have any plans to share anything that's not secure.
Okay.
Unless it's standard protocol to do so, then I will.
Nah, the Dominion War hasn't happened yet, so
All right.
this is still bright and bushy-tailed, or bright-eyed and bushy-tailed Starfleet, which, you know.
Mhm.
Anyways, so, you know, you get Admiral Haru in the form, and sure enough, after a few moments, the Cation woman looks back at you through the view screen of your little tablet thing on your office's desk, and she says, Captain Tahan, I was wondering when I'd hear back from you. What is your status?
Status is well. We just found a nearby system that's worth investigating. Recently, we found a trinary star system, and I'll send you a more detailed report with the other scientific discoveries we've been making.
Very good, very good. I do have a bit of a... how should I put it? I have a new crewman for you. Would you like me to send him out in a runabout, or shall you bring the Arcadia back to Narendra Station?
How far away are we right now from Narendra?
I'd say at this point, if you did Warp 8 back to the station, it would probably take 5 days. But remember that, and this is something I gotta be better on, technically going above Warp 5 is against Starfleet regs, because of the whole, that TNG episode where they blew up subspace kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing that might be in canon or not.
Yeah. So technically you're not supposed to go above Warp 5 unless, the mission calls for it, or there's like a sense of urgency, and it's up to the captain's call kind of a thing.
Right.
So at Warp 5, you could get back to the station in probably 2 weeks.
And that's how long it would take him in a runabout to get to us.
More or less, unless you met him, like,
the new crewman is.
Yeah, unless you met him halfway, and then it would only be a week.
Okay. Yeah, we can head back to meet him halfway.
That would be acceptable. I will send you the details of their service record later, but I believe him to be a adequate addition to your crew.
Might I ask what position he would be filling on my ship?
Out of character, that's going to depend on
Sure, okay.
whoever I pick up. So she says, "I'll send you those details later." Unless there's anything else, Captain, that'll be all.
Might I ask if there's? Oh, perhaps it's a question for secure line, and I'll begin doing that.
Yeah, she'll turn it over to secure. So the screen blanks for a moment, then comes back on. Says, "Yes, what is it?"
Is there any update on Sven, our Orion Kingpin?
Well, Starfleet security and intelligence have been rather tight-lipped, I'm afraid. What we do know, I can't tell you.
Is there anything you need me to do?
Not as of yet, but I will certainly let you know if we do.
All right, thank you, Admiral.
Yes, Admiral Haru out. And, the screen goes black.
Mhm.
And it's right about this moment that there's a doo-doo at your office door.
Enter.
So on the other side is Maddock and Hylong. They are clutching some sort of device and a tricorder.
What's this?
Something that we've been working on, sir.
Okay. What does it do?
Um,
D-
I guess a little backstory is needed for it. It's something that we built after our encounter with the Hypatia. I was able to keep some scans and
You did what now?
no, I'm not just hear me out, okay? We don't know if I'm not the one that found it anyway, so we can't really prove that the temporal
I,
directive has been broken, okay?
I just have my head in my hands now.
The classic Picard facepalm. I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm actually literally doing that. You understand that we have to. I have to take your research from you now.
Just
I'm sure you had good intentions, but
let us demonstrate it real quick.
I don't. I don't want to know what it does.
I'll kind of look back at Hai Long and just kind of give her emotion, like, come on, like, hop in, like, say something.
She very reluctantly like bites her lip and she says, Captain, I don't mean to quote the temporal prime directive at you, but this may indeed be an instance of predestination.
That would be convenient, wouldn't it?
She just kind of nods.
Oh, it's a difficult position you're putting me in.
Captain, you gave me future tech. I mean, I'm an engineer. Imagine if you had the ability to meet a new life that you weren't supposed to meet for another 10, 15 years. Would you really pass up that offer?
I have to think about it, Lieutenant. I have to think about this.
Look, it's just a prototype. It doesn't really do much. Here, just take the tricorder real quick, and then I'll wait for him to I'll just wait for the captain to take the tricorder from me.
I take it.
Okay.
Okay. Turn on the device, and then that's whenever the tricorder start going off, and I'll look over and be like, "Yeah, it's working." As you can tell, I can give us readings about 5 seconds into the future. It's not much, and if this was to be implemented on a larger scale, it would take quite some time, but I mean, it's something.
No, I can't demean the importance of this technology. It's truly amazing. I question if we're ready for it. If we're ready to make those kinds of decisions. Because I don't know that if when we finish developing this kind of technology, if that 5 seconds turns into a day, a week, if we begin
Predicting the future, sir? Hai Long chips in.
more or less.
This is and she looks at the device that Maddox holding. She says, "This is still just mostly theory on my part, sir, but I believe that there is a very much a hard limit as to the readings it can take, if I may demonstrate. And while you're holding the tricorder, your tricorder shows that Hai Long is perfectly fine in health, but then she suddenly takes a small pen on your desk or something and jabs her palm with it, and you notice that it starts to bleed just a little bit, not a whole lot, but that the tricorder doesn't catch up until another few seconds has passed. And she just kind of shows you the mark on her hand. She says, as you can see, the future isn't really set in stone. It's just that this is more of a predictive measure. You can only take the readings it gives, but so well.
I close the tricorder and I set it down on my desk. I need you to stop these projects right now. You may get to resume them one day, but not today.
Hylong bows her head.
I have a report to file.
I mean, so far it's only us three that know about it, Captain.
We're going to keep it that way. Dismissed.
All right.
Sir.
So, with that out of the way, I think the captain has a bit of writing to do. But let me end the stream, and then we'll do off-stream stuff. So, stream, if you're watching, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.